time. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's Sponsored Jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Supreme Court heard arguments today over whether to allow the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school. It's a case in Oklahoma that's being closely watched, as Jan Crawford reports.
The opponents of this say that they're concerned that some states will just say, well, listen, if we got to open it up to religious schools, that's going to be so complicated, and, we're just not going to have charter schools at all. So there's a real division on what impact it would have, but there's no question that this case will have dramatic implications for future public education across the country if these kind of charter schools can operate.
The economy shrunk in the first quarter, the first drop in 3 years, and the president's senior trade advisor, Peter Navarro, said it's partly due to a surge in imports with so many U.S. businesses ordering items ahead of the tariffs.
When you have more imports than exports, you have a drag downward on the GDP.
President Trump blamed the numbers on the Biden administration. Nicole Killian has reaction from Democrat Chuck Schumer, who had a very different take.
The leader is saying that this is yet another example of, in his view, what he believes are the president's failed policies, and that he should fire his entire economic team. He says that today's numbers show that Donald Trump is running America the same way he ran his businesses, straight into the ground.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the administration's close to signing a minerals deal with Ukraine if last-minute issues are resolved. CBS's Weijia Jiang.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky did post on social media with a few details. He said it would be signed in the next 24 hours. Trump has talked about this potential deal as a way to pay back all of the assistance the U.S. has given Ukraine. Zelensky specifically said that one of the conditions of the deal is that the agreement does not contain any reference to debt obligations, any assistance provided to Ukraine prior to its signing. The deal is all about new military assistance from the U.S.
There is a dangerous wildfire burning in Israel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu says it could reach Jerusalem. The BBC's Debbie Russ.
The Defence Minister has declared the situation a national emergency. More than 100 firefighting teams, including army units, have been drafted in to tackle the blazes. International assistance has also been requested.
The fire has shut down the main highway linking Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Dozens of people have been hospitalized. It's been whipped up by strong winds and hot, dry weather. On Wall Street, the Dow is off 233 points. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
A Tacoma teen intervenes in a fight and is now accused of murder. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. In Renton, the crash was cleared from northbound I-405 near Northeast 44th Street. Your backup is starting to clear, but you're still solid from State Route 169 back down to 167. Travel time Renton to Bellevue, 52 minutes, about 40 longer than typical for this time of day. In Issaquah, construction has blocked a lane on eastbound I-90 between State Route 900 and Front Street. Traffic brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Cage-free eggs are good, free-range are better, and mobile pasture are the best. Choose the best locally fresh Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. A 16-year-old arrested after attacking his mother's boyfriend. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains.
Pierce County deputies say the teenager jumped into the middle of a fight between his mom and her boyfriend inside an apartment complex in Tacoma's Midland neighborhood. Deputy Carly Capetto says the boyfriend was rushed to the hospital but died.
The 16-year-old male that had stabbed him was taken into custody and has been booked into Raymond Hall.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Authorities are looking for the owner of 3 puppies found abused and abandoned near Auburn. Sergeant Rebecca Smikoska with Regional Animal Services tells KIRO 7 TV.
Instantly noticed, intense swelling around the muzzle, which is not normal for our injured strays.
She says the dog's muzzles may have been bound tightly with tape or straps. We have photos of the dogs on mynorthwest.com. You're asked to call Animal Services if you can put them in contact with the owner. A new report shows there was a 41% drop in the amount of gunfire in King County in the first quarter of the year compared to the same time last year. Prosecuting attorney Lisa Mannion.
In fact, King County has just experienced the safest start to a new year that we've had in the past 5 years.
Still, 278 shots were fired, 13 people killed, 47 injured. Newer technology helps nab a domestic violence suspect in Redmond when police approached the man.
You're under arrest right now.
He took off. Officers deployed a drone, which tracked him to a wooded area. Then police dog Chewy was called in to help.
Don't run. The dog's going to bite you.
They caught their man. Redmond was one of the first departments in the state to use drone technology to aid first responders. Seattle scores a new professional sports franchise. The Professional Women's Hockey League announced it's adding Seattle and Vancouver as expansion teams. Amy Shearer is the league's VP of Business Operations.
We really hope Seattle and Vancouver develop a pretty cool rivalry.
The squad will play its home games at Climate Pledge Arena when the new season begins this fall. There's no official team name yet for Seattle. I'm proposing the Ice Queens. Kind of like that. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 60s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Hello, my brother.
Spike, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about.
We do. It's going to be a fine broadcast.
It's going to be a fun day. I'm really pumped because we are going to play you some audio later. I'm just going to tease this audio right now. I'm not going to give you any context. Just know that this is very important, and you're going to like what you hear. Here it is. Now, if you want to know the context to that, that's a human being, by the way.
Okay.
149. You're going to have to tune in at 149 to hear that. Yes.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. A ton of stuff to get to. Thank you so much for participating on the text line. If you guys want to send us a note or anything, 888-973-5476. Also, we are constantly live on the Jake and Spike Show live YouTube page where we can chat with you on the chat thing on the commercial breaks. Sometimes during the show, too, if it's getting boring.
Let us know. If it's getting boring at home, let us know. Hey, guys, pick it up.
We know.
Yeah, we know.
Did you see this story? This is great. And we'll post this photo on the Jake and Spike Show Twitter page, and I'll also post it on mine at Jake Skorheim. This is a actual person did this. I believe this was today on I-5. Trooper Rick Johnson, who's going to join us later in the show to talk about this. It's kind of hilarious. Washington State Patrol, Rick Johnson. Somebody was driving in the HOV lane, and they noticed that the passenger didn't look super, what's the word I'm looking
engaged?
for? Yeah, engaged. That's a good one.
Right?
Breathing is another one.
Another one? Human?
Human, alive, real would probably be the best descriptor.
Wow.
So somebody has and it's a great picture, somebody in their passenger seat has a full-on mannequin that they have dressed. And what do you think about the outfit choice here?
That's where he went wrong.
You think
that's where they went wrong?
That's the problem?
I'm telling you how. I will tell you how this could have worked.
Okay.
And while I don't want to say this out of the gate, I am so opposed to what this driver did.
Really?
I am incredibly opposed to what this driver did.
Okay, this is what Rick Johnson posted. Trooper Rick Johnson posted on X. He says, this was an HOV violation stop this morning on northbound I-5 near 145th. Driver admitted this was only to be able to use the HOV lane. The driver also indicated that he has not named his passenger. Hashtag not real. And it's a mannequin.
It's a mannequin in a like a checkered print shirt with a scarf. Horrible.
Oh, is that a scarf?
Horrible accessory color choices there. First off, horrible.
I think you're right. The coloring is bad.
And there's, I don't know if it's a skirt or whatnot below, but literally there's with a full wig.
We can't see what's below because it's below.
There's a blanket.
There's a blanket. It's below the windowsill.
And let me tell you where the driver went wrong.
Where did he go wrong?
Now imagine that you're looking at the man. We can share this photo so folks can see this.
Yeah.
We're working on a mechanism where we can post a photo or video to our YouTube channel, so that you can watch this and look along with us as we describe the stories that come across our desk and into your world.
Hopefully, we'll have it up by tomorrow, so we can actually, you can just tune into YouTube.
Here's how this would have worked. See that mannequin? Now imagine. It's a young female mannequin in its styling, and it's right. Is that a fair assessment? Young
Absolutely
female,
fair, yeah.
Now imagine it's a teenager looking down at their phone.
Okay,
disinterested, disengaged.
Sure.
And if you see a guy driving with a teenage kid who wants to be anywhere else in the universe, but in the car with dad, looking down at the phone. Maybe some new band's T-shirt. I can't even tell you which band would work. I'm out of that loop.
Pantera. All the kids are listening to
Pantera. Some young today's music kind of T-shirt on this kid looking down at a phone, right? It would have been like any other teenager.
No officer would have questioned.
Would have questioned it at all.
In fact, they probably would have felt bad for
the bad. Right.
Like, look at that good dad driving this.
I feel for that guy. I remember when I had to drive my kid around.
100%.
That's where the guy went wrong. But this kind of abuse. I think
before you go off on your abuse, can I get Laura's take on the outfit?
Sure.
Laura, what do you think of this mannequin's outfit? How are they dressed? Is this what gave it away? Do you think it looks
from like the mid 2000s?
Yeah, I mean, clearly these are all like extra items that this guy had around his house. I don't know that he's been near a real female in a while. He might have. I don't want to say that he hasn't. But
if he pulled this from his spouse's closet, I feel for her.
Are all mannequins this busty? Did he add something there?
I just think it's her dour expression that probably got him pulled over. She looks like she's being held hostage.
That's why they pulled him over? Not because they thought it was a fake person, but because they thought it was like
she was in distress.
She was in distress. Yeah.
Right, again, had that been a teenager, right?
Do you think sunglasses would have helped? I mean, like, I'm trying to coach people if they're going to do this. I don't recommend it because it's illegal, but if you are going to do this and get a mannequin.
I think lip gloss would add more of like a lifelike sheen.
Okay.
She's got something on.
But you got to go celebrity, right? Sunglasses, hat.
Okay. Yeah. That may work.
I think maybe sunglasses would have helped.
And with the state of animatronics these days,
yeah,
I mean, you just got to level up your game.
Yeah, she does have a very plasticky looking face. I'll give her that.
Uninterested.
Totally uninterested.
Don't want to be there.
Have you seen what they're doing at Disney now? They move like real people. They have robots walking around.
No.
Yeah.
No,
you mean the Hall of Presidents?
No, those are people dressed up as actors. Those are actors. What are you talking about?
That's not a real dragon.
You're awesome.
Okay. Oh, you mean at Universal?
Universal has the How to Train Your Dragon.
The How to Train Your Dragon animatronic stuff.
My theme park's confused.
No, but I know that's not.
But doesn't Disney have that like little what's it from?
Mermaid.
Groot.
Oh, the tree? That's
the
also
tree.
a Marvel. That's a Marvel universe.
That's a Marvel thing.
Okay.
But that is
under the Disney umbrella.
thing.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that's a Disney
But some
thing.
of these new rides, especially the ones overseas, like the way that the
They might have
animatronics
robots.
move in there,
Yeah.
you would definitely get away with the HOV lane.
But if this
have
was
you
an
ever tried to
animatronic,
flip off other drivers so it looks real as can be, right?
I think if it was an animatronic Groot, that would also draw attention.
Groot.
Just put it in a car seat in the back.
Do you really?
License registration, I am Groot.
Do you really think, Spike, that this is a bad idea?
I think it's a horrible idea.
Tell me why you hate this so much.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not for absconding the law. I'm not for people taking advantage of the HOV lanes when they drive alone.
Sure.
It does happen. It does happen from time to time. We've talked before. I myself may or may not have committed
from time
this.
to time.
May or not have committed this this criminal act.
Not the mannequin.
Not the mannequin, no. But popping alone in the HOV lane, because there are times when you weigh schedule against monetary fine, and you make the calculation. Look, I need to get there. I've got an event scheduled. The band is playing. I'm hosting an event. There's a funeral, maybe a wedding I had to get to this last weekend. These are all hypotheticals.
Risk reward.
Risk reward. Exactly. Yeah. Risk reward. And you make the split second decision to jump in the HOV lane. And I think it's a horrible idea, but it does happen from time to time.
Is it a horrible idea?
It's criminal.
Horrible.
So yes. Horrible.
Horrible.
Bad.
There's a lot of horrible stuff.
Okay, fair enough. I'm being hyperbolic.
Is jumping in the HOV lane
it's
the
a
worst
poor decision.
idea in the world?
No, poor decision, bad idea. Horrible may have been going too far.
I would say it's a high-risk behavior because you're probably going to get pulled over. You could get a ticket.
The ticket's not cheap,
GPS
right?
is amazing these days. So if I'm on the Waze app, they tell me where all the cops are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see where the cops are. I just like my car goes. There's a police officer in 500 feet.
And that's helping you avoid police, right?
It's helping me make sure that I'm not doing anything illegal.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
yeah.
It's a warning shot.
I'm not admitting to anything.
It's not helping you break the law. It's warning you that there will be consequences if you do.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I can live with that.
Traffic is so bad these days. Traffic is so bad. What do you think about toll lane violations? Do you hold those in the same horrible world as the HOV lane? Because I think those are two very different things.
Oh, really? So I think they're very, very similar. I think that lane is there to reward you
for being rich.
Oh, I'm not about to pay your way past the
toll
peasants.
Lane.
Yeah, that's pay your way past the peasants.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's further division of lifestyle, not just wealth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You look in that toll lane, it's all like sweet Teslas.
Oh,
and
it is.
Like
a guy can afford $30 a day to not sit in traffic.
You see somebody who's just like, barely scraping by. They're driving in the normal lane.
They're sitting in the normal lanes.
I don't fault anybody who gets into those toll lanes and, do what you gotta do.
Okay, there is a distinction between the HOV and the toll lanes.
Thing.
Yeah, it is. But this guy, here's my point about the HOV lane violations. If you make the split-second decision to pop over in that HOV lane and break the law, you deserve the fine you get. If you make a premeditated decision to break the law.
Oh, this is where it gets real.
This is where it gets real, right? I mean, you are at home. You're picking out a wardrobe for a mannequinette here. You're dressing her up, putting the right wig on her, getting her with a sweater and the scarf combo, loading her into the car. That's a premeditation of a crime, and that makes it a more elevated penalty of a crime in all crimes.
In your head.
In my head.
Not reality.
Premeditated.
Which is the thing.
If you plan, if you take a gun to an event, you're planning. You made the decision.
I think we're going a little far. Again, this is
I hate these people.
But this is not somebody who's like doing something so horrible. What I'm more interested in, is this guy's actually picking out the outfit for this.
There's the crime.
The premeditating part is pretty funny, actually. I'd like to meet this guy. I'd like to get him on the show. If we could get him on the show.
His intention to break the law is...
I don't care a ton about the intention.
Okay.
What I'm interested in is a guy. What I'm interested in is like the mental gymnastics that this guy's going through.
He picked the outfit. Yeah, that's an interesting take.
He's got to buy them. Like, where do you get a mannequin? That's what I'd like to know. Are you just like going to an old JCPenney and be like, well, you guys are doing much business, so can I have a mannequin?
It's funny you say that. So many places have gone out of business. I remember when we went down, literally my family, my wife and I, my whole family didn't make a day of it. We went down to the downtown Macy's. That was downtown where the Christmas star used to be, right? They were going out of business, and they literally had
scraps.
They had a sale, a public sale, and we bought like high tension, load bearing clothing racks for use in our home.
For what?
For use in our home,
like a circular clothing rack.
Well, no, we got the straight
closet,
the straight rectangular ones.
Why do you need an industrial clothing rack in your closet?
Because we have too much stuff, and this is we're peeling the onion back for you people. We have way too much stuff. We have costumes from like 30 years of throwing parties.
So you hate this guy because you are this guy.
I am. Well,
that's why you hate him so much.
I didn't like.
You know, I'm not far from this.
I'm really not. I can see it from my house.
Yeah.
Clearly, this guy's level of.
I can see it from my house.
But there were mannequins for sale at this going out of business department store sale.
That's another thing I'd like to ask. Like, what kind of looks are you getting when you go into Macy's or going out, whoever's going out of business? When you go into a Woolworths, and you could say like, "Hey, can I get one of your mannequins?" Like the look they give you. Like, what are you doing with this mannequin?
Well, yeah.
I swear, I'm just putting it in the HOV lane.
Just putting the HOV lane, yeah.
I just want to drive faster to work.
Yeah. I'm making a human suit in my basement.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And then, like, are those pumps for sale? Like,
right.
Women's shoes? And, like, are they, like, how serious is this outfit? We're only seeing it from the waist up.
Right.
I'd like to see the whole thing.
Maybe took a lot of care and detail. Maybe she's wearing pantyhose.
See,
maybe
that would
she's got open-toed pumps on mules, whatever.
At least I would appreciate his attention to detail.
Yeah, that's to be commended. His style choices are one thing, but his attention to detail should be commended.
Like, why did he put a brooch on this person? I don't know why.
He really did. I wish you folks at home could enjoy this with us.
We'll post a picture. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk to Rick Johnson. I'd be interested to see how much this happens because I know I've seen stories like this before, and every time I do, I get a chuckle out of them.
Yeah, well, you think it's urban legend. But then they come to life, ironically enough.
You and I have such different reactions. You hate this guy for this.
I think it's premeditation for intent to be a scofflaw. He's not a criminal, maybe. He's a scofflaw.
I applaud him for it.
Yeah. And you appreciate the effort.
I appreciate the effort. I sit in traffic every single day, and it sucks.
It does.
I don't like it.
Why should he be better than us?
Well, I'm gonna just I'd like to know where you got this mannequin. Like, this is not. I bet you they pass a lot of mannequins. If I was
the trooper, this happens more often than.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I think there's a lot of mannequins.
The rest of them are dressed up like teenage girls. Nobody notices, right? Am I right?
Probably. You're right. In their Pantera shirts.
Yeah.
I think, and the rest
Head
of the time,
down, phone
he's
in
got a
hand.
lot of explaining to do to his wife. Like when he gets home, is she in on this? Does she know what's going on? Or does he shove it in the trunk so she doesn't know? Did you ever see Curb Your Enthusiasm when Larry David is stuck? He can't get somewhere. He's got to get across town in L.A. And so he hires a prostitute just to sit in his car. That's another option you could do if you really wanted to. We got a problem on Aurora if you're driving, across town.
Need to get into town fast?
I wouldn't recommend it, but it's something you could do. You could hire a person.
A professional passenger.
And you know what? I bet you they'd enjoy that work a lot more than their normal day.
A pastitute, if you will.
A pastitute.
All right, a for-hire passenger. You know, it's funny. There's a place down in the Bay Area in San Francisco. I think it's a Golden Gate Bridge, where commuters who are trying to get into the city will wait at a certain point on the roadside, like a bus stop on the roadside, and people who are driving alone who want to take advantage of the high occupancy lanes across the
Which
bridge.
Which you have to if you're driving in San Fran.
Right.
Yeah.
You will pick up a stranger to sit in your car, a stranger who needs a ride into the city. And the two of you will then be able to use the HOV lanes to cross the bridge.
That stranger?
No. It's a
mutually
beneficial bartered experience where a stranger will hop into your car and commute with you into the city. They need a ride to the city.
Crazy.
You need another body for the HOV.
Crazy. Laura
That's just called carpooling, right?
Yep,
yeah, that's
with
carpooling.
Random strangers.
Yeah. Carpooling with benefits. Yeah, because you get in and they get in, and everybody
together you get there
go.
faster.
Yeah. All right. Well, Trooper Rick Johnson, he's going to join us at what time is he coming on? 1:30. So if you have any questions that you want to know about mannequins in the car, how often this happens,
what do cops look for?
Also, what's the penalty for this? Is there an extra penalty like you mentioned because it's premeditated?
I think for premeditation the fine should double. I really do.
And I think this is a crime of passion.
Or a crime of lack of passion.
That's what I think. It's a crime of passion. All right. We only have a minute left.
I can't believe we spent so much time on that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I like it. Can we talk really fast about, we don't have time to get into that. There's a really good back and forth, which we will play you a little bit later in the show. Mayor Bruce Harrell had his press conference yesterday, and there's a lot of stuff going on with that Jamie Tompkins demand letter to the city.
Correct.
About a potential lawsuit that could happen. Also with former Chief Diaz's $10 million lawsuit against the city. And also some allegations of other things. So we're going to talk, but he's confronted with all this stuff at a press conference, which I don't think they wanted to talk about at the time.
Right. But how do you meet with the public and meet with the media, meet with the press?
I'm glad they asked.
I am too.
Yeah, good for
them. How do you not expect to have this come up?
It's an interesting back and forth. We want to play it for you because it does get a little spicy. So we'll play it in just a little bit. But I saw this story. I thought this was right in line with what I assumed, but it's kind of crazy. Starter homes in Seattle, starter homes, not just average price, but starter homes in Seattle are now $1 million.
$1 million.
Can you believe that?
That's what realtors with their pinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is this house? $1 million. So first-time home buyers in Seattle, there's this article in Axios who kind of laid out all the stuff. Staggering prices. It's now $1 million in 8 local cities per Zillow, they said. Let's see, over $1 million for starter homes. A lot of these places you would just assume, like Hunts Point, Clyde Hill,
the sought-after neighborhoods. Up near me, Woodway near me.
Beau Arts Village, where's that? I've never even heard of Beau
That
Arts Village.
That I haven't heard either, and that's like 2.4.
That's such a nice area. You and I have never even heard of it.
Right.
Which means that they're doing their job right. Woodway, which is really nice in your neck of the woods, Spike.
That's estates. Those
Mercer Island. Oh, come on. That's your neighborhood. That's
Poverty Rock, yeah.
Mercer Island, obviously, that's going to be, and then Sammamish.
Right.
Listen to some of these numbers, though. A single person in Seattle, it would take them, on average, 27 years to save up for the down payment for a starter home.
Isn't that obscene?
It would take a couple, though, 3.6 years to do that same thing. Because you're having one person paying all the bills, so the other person just sending all that money into the bank.
I see it.
Isn't that great?
The sum of those two incomes are greater than.
It's encouraging for you guys to get married out there, all of you lonely hearts.
We just talked a couple days ago about my daughter and my new son-in-law, and will I lose them as they have to start a family and move out of the area to afford starting a life together?
Yeah, they shouldn't have to do that.
I don't want to lose them to the real estate prices.
Expensive cities. Good Lord. All right, let's see here. We have a lot more coming up. There's a new Seattle sports team. I think Heather had a great idea. We should ask the audience to name the new team.
Oh, that's a great idea. Because they're withholding the name for a while.
Her recommendation was, I think she said the Ice Queens.
Ice Queens.
Which I think is very clever and a good name. But I think we'll see if our audience can do better. 888-973-5476. You can text us there. Give us your ideas. We will read some of those. Also on the chat line on the live YouTube page, which you should check out. I do have an issue with this new team, though.
Really?
I'm going to tell you about it next.
Okay.
I think you and me may agree on this one, actually.
I look forward to the conversation.
So we'll hear what we say. All right. Check us out. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
I was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
What do you get when you assemble 400 new and used RVs with over 1,000 floor plan options, plus manufactured homes on 20 acres? You get the best chance to save all year. The Puyallup RV Show, May 1st through 4th. Free parking. Get tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to RealIDWA.com.
New ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Don't wait. Prepare today so we can fly together.
It's your final boarding call for Real ID.
Visit RealIDWA.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. Ukraine may be poised to sign a deal to hand over some mineral rights in exchange for U.S. support as Ukraine continues to fight off the Russian invasion. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
We heard from the Ukrainian Prime Minister this morning on Telegram, who said that this agreement, this critical minerals deal, could be signed within the next 24 hours.
A federal judge today ordering the release of Mohsen Madouzi, a Palestinian Columbia University student who was detained by ICE when he went in for his U.S. citizenship interview.
I've always learned that home is where you feel safe and loved. And those who surround you there are your people, and you are my people.
He is still facing possible deportation after participating in campus protests against Israel's war in Gaza. The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments in a dispute that could open the gates for public funding to go directly to religious schools. Supporters of a proposed Catholic charter school in Oklahoma argue.
This court has held 3 times in the last 8 years that when a state creates a public program and invites private actors, it can't exclude people or groups because they're religious.
The state says directly funding a religious school violates state rules. Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown has joined a multi-state lawsuit challenging President Trump's move to dismantle AmeriCorps. The program provides volunteers with housing, meals, and education benefits but its future is now uncertain. People are sounding off after word Amazon will not be revealing how much tariffs are increasing the price of products they buy. After President Trump called Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, the company insisted the pricing plan was never approved. That sounded like a walk back to this shopper who told KIRO 7 TV.
We live in the United States. We have free press. Corporations should be allowed to make changes, even if it reflects poorly on the decision-making of our government.
Uncertainty over tariffs and Americans' rush to buy imported products ahead of the taxes put a drag on the U.S. economy. The GDP fell 0.3% January through March. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
What does the Fed do now? Because if you have slowing growth, but you have potentially higher prices with inflation, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. And what that means for folks at home is interest rates are likely just going to stay the same for a bit.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 216 points, NASDAQ off 180. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, in Fife, the crash on northbound I-5 near 54th Avenue has been moved to the shoulder, but you're backed up through the Fife curve. Travel time Tacoma 2 Federal Way running about 10 minutes longer than usual. In Renton, the crash was cleared from northbound I-405 near Northeast 44th Street, and travel time Renton to Bellevue is back down to about 19 minutes, just a few minutes longer than for this time of day. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 60s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Block.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Spike, over on the YouTube page, we're getting a lot of good recommendations on how that guy in the HOV lane could have made that mannequin look more real. This one from
how to get away with a crime? That's what our audience is giving us?
Well, yeah, that's what they're telling us, which I
knew I
appreciate.
love these people.
They're good
These
people.
are our people.
Close to my heart, like Thunder Heart 2186 says, the guy needs a servo attached to the arm to give movement to the mannequin.
It's a wave.
I don't fool them. It's just like, it's a great idea. I don't know how you would do that, but that's a really good idea. I love it.
We're a community full of engineers, engineering minds. Yeah.
Thank you, Thunder Heart. That's wonderful. All right. Can we talk for a second? There's a new professional team coming to Seattle. Laura, you were telling me this information actually was released accidentally. Is that right?
Yeah. I did hear this through the grapevine. I didn't read an article, so take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, rumor has it.
Apparently,
good enough for me.
Rumor has it that when Vancouver's team was announced up in BC, they accidentally leaked a Seattle mock-up of a logo.
Oh,
and
okay.
everyone was like, what?
What's going on here?
Are we getting a team too?
Yeah.
And sure enough, big announcement today at
And
Climate
now here
Pledge
we are.
Arena. Professional women's hockey is coming to Seattle.
We don't yet, as Heather mentioned, we don't yet know the name of the team.
No, which is the same thing that happened with the Kraken. If you remember, there was a lot of debate about should they be. I loved the Sockeyes. I was voting for that name.
Sockeyes.
So good, right?
Yeah.
But I do think a salmon
No,
is.
it's not good.
Well, no, it's perfect,
The
but
Sockeyes?
a salmon is the terrible mascot.
Is it just of them about to punch each other?
No, a sockeye salmon.
No, I get it, but there has to be some twist on it that makes it interesting.
A punching
Otherwise,
salmon.
it's just a fish, like a hockey playing fish.
That's
They don't even have
what Laura
arms.
said. It's a horrible mascot. Flops around.
It
You
didn't
throw
have
it.
legs.
You throw it on the ice, which is cool.
It's a minor league baseball mascot.
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's
Sockeye.
fair.
And no offense to minor league baseball.
No, we love our Aqua Sox, but they're not going to
Minor
make
league
them in.
baseball is great for its very specific,
Yeah, there are some
reasons.
weird mascots in minor league baseball.
So the Professional Women's Hockey League, or the PWHL, is going to be an expansion coming to the Pacific Northwest. They're going to be practicing and training at the Kraken Community Iceplex. Heather's idea was the Ice Queens, which is a good one. Although I feel like there is there's a kind of a negative connotation with that name.
Yeah, Ice Queen.
Bunch of Ice Queens.
Doesn't say warm embrace to me.
No. But you don't want your team to say warm embrace. You want to say
you're right.
bully,
rough and tumble.
and tumble.
Yeah.
Do you have any? So if the audience has any suggestions,
I'd love to hear them. None of my suggestions are fit for on-air broadcasts.
No,
That's the kind of mind I have.
You told me one off the air. I was just going to invite you to say it, and then I realized that would end your time here at KIRO Radio. So we can't do that. Here's the thing that I noticed, though, in this press release. They said that they will channel the storm with their emerald green color, and they will add cream. So they're going to have a similar color scheme, which I think is a mistake, actually. I don't like that. I don't like, and I don't know why. I do think the Pacific Northwest kind of does this, and I don't know why they do this. They all have a similar color scheme.
Okay.
I don't like that. I like teams to be individual and to stand on their own. Whatever you would stand on.
Their unique identity and their
think about
brand.
Some of the biggest brands in sports, like Baltimore, who has many professional sports teams. The Orioles and the Ravens.
The totally different beasts. Yeah, black and
orange.
Orange
and black.
But you know why, of course? A Baltimore Oriole, which is the bird, is a bird called a Baltimore Oriole.
Sure.
Black and orange. A raven, black and purple. The raven is so black, there's almost a purple tint to the feathers of a raven. That's why those color schemes are true to the namesakes of those franchises. Look at Pittsburgh. Every professional team in Pittsburgh.
Is the Oriole native to Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's the only place that they come from?
That's where
Balmer? That's where Orioles come from? Is Balmer?
O's come from Balmer, hon. Yeah.
If an Oriole could talk, that's what it would sound?
Hey, hon, how you doing?
Hey,
go down the park. Go down to Camden.
The beach and
watch them O's.
Watch them O's and the Ravens.
Down the ocean. We'll pop down Thrasher, get some fries.
All right, well, I'll give you that if the birds are from there. Are Ravens also only from Baltimore?
The Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. That was the name of, that's how the Baltimore derived their name for their football team.
I asked you the wrong question.
You really did. You got me in my wheelhouse now,
All right, how about
man.
this? Boston, Celtics, Red Sox.
Of course, yeah, different.
But
Red Sox,
Charlotte, Panthers, Hornets.
Red Sox and Patriots have very similar blue and red color schemes,
I'm not
right?
saying they can't have similar color schemes.
I know.
There's only so many.
Look at Pittsburgh. All the Pittsburgh teams are black and gold.
And I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Steelers,
Kansas City,
Pirates,
Royals, and the Chiefs. Very different.
Okay, it's a fair point.
Cleveland.
Yeah, the independence of a team's brand and their identity.
Otherwise, it's just like if they're just going to make it into the storm. It's just, is it the same? Are they banking on it being the exact same audience? Which I don't think they want. If it's just the Storm audience, they don't have a ton of.
Yeah, that's fair.
You want to
expand it. Yeah,
you want to expand it. You want to make it a bigger thing. So set yourself apart. Be unique. That would be my recommendation. They won't take it, but that's okay.
There's a photo. This is a story we're getting from the Seattle Times about the expansion of the PWHL into Seattle. And they may start by the 25-26 season, which is next fall. They're talking about a really quick expansion here. Vancouver's been announced. Nice photo of the Boston Fleet. Those players, one of the original 6 teams. Back in there, hon. It's hard to get out of once you fall into the Baltimore accent. I love the uniforms of the Boston Fleet. I wish those colors were, and they're kind of maybe too similar to Seattle for
all
your
the jerseys. Yeah, like I love
they're blue and green.
Jerseys are cool. Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be great.
Great logo on the Boston Fleet.
I will admit that I watched that game that's in the photos. That was Boston versus Montreal, and they were doing a tour of professional women's hockey just to gauge interest and see if people would show up.
Yeah.
The stands were packed.
Sure.
Megan Rapinoe, Sue Bird were there. I was freaking out. It was so fun. Montreal's uniforms were cuter. Like I looked for merch afterwards because I was excited and high off the game.
When you say cuter, what do you mean cuter in hockey uniform? What do you mean cuter? Were they tighter fitting?
No,
Were they more
like
flattering.
Better colors, better font.
Did it seem a little more feminine than like the gruff other teams' jerseys and like
it just had a little more pizzazz. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
A little more flair.
Which is what you want in hockey. You want like cuter and pizzazz.
Please.
Wow. It's the Montreal, is it Victor? How do I say that? It's a French word, right? The Montreal PHL team. Victoire. I'm not sure how to say. I have no French accent.
Victoire.
Is it?
Victoire.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't try that.
That's high school French for you.
Okay.
Can we?
That's a pretty great looking uni. You're right. That's a great
Would
sweater.
you describe it as cute and pizzazzy? Is there some pizzazz?
I don't. That's not how I describe anything.
Oh, it's
pretty
cute
and pizzazzy.
There's a lot of pizzazz to that. I like that. The flair on that is nice.
I wanted a hat, right?
Yeah. Was it cute?
Yeah.
Good.
With like a little poof on the top.
It literally had a poof ball.
All this to say, I'm looking forward to merch. I'm looking forward to games. Yeah.
We still want some. We still want some ideas on names, so people can send us there.
Something that is unique to the Northwest, right? That, but at least we have that. I think in all of our teams,
the sockeye is available.
Yeah,
the fish, like a sockeye name.
I am glad they picked the Kraken though, not the Sockeyes or the Metropolitans was one of the finals.
What's the crab that we have? What's a local crab here? Like a crabby. It seems like.
Oh, the Dungeness.
The Dungeness. That's got kind of a girl name to it, right? Kind of a. Maybe even a little of a French flair.
Almost Dungeness.
Dungeness. You couldn't do a king crab. That just doesn't make sense.
Queen crab.
Queen crab.
Queen crabs. Ooh.
The queen crabs.
I don't know.
Snow crab?
Yeah.
Ice?
You're going to get crabs.
Snow crabs.
Crabs are coming at you.
Playing in the Crab Shack tonight.
Yeah, the Crab Shack.
This sounds perfect to me. I don't know what could possibly be found wrong about that.
No, I like it. I think that's what people want. I think that should be the name.
Beautiful.
I think we've just solved it. But people can text us and let us know.
We'd love to hear your
We've got some great ideas. I can't wait to read these at the end of the show.
We'll read some of these good names. These are good names. On the YouTube page, somebody just said the Shield Maidens.
Shield Maidens.
It's pretty cool. Except they don't carry shields.
They'll be joining the Minnesota Frost, the Boston Fleet.
Yeah.
You know, there are some lovely, wonderful, not lovely, that's the wrong word. The Ottawa Charge.
The Ice Princesses. That's not very good.
Pizzazz. We need pizzazz.
The pizzazz.
Seattle Pizzazz.
Yeah. Seattle Pizzazz.
You heard it here first. And last.
That's perfect. All right. This is really interesting. Speaking of, there's a teen who got struck by lightning, and she hopes that it's going to help her develop superpowers. The lightning, that's actually not a horrible idea. Develop superpowers. We're going to play you audio from her next. She survived it. Pretty amazing story. She does highlight one area, though, where she got struck, which I thought was interesting.
Superpowers she wants out of this?
That's what she says.
Hey, that's how Shazam was built, right?
Kids are dumb.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7.
It's an exciting night at my house last night. Nick came home. She's all excited. This shirt she found was $80. So she's sitting there talking to me, and all of a sudden she goes, I can't breathe. Cut me out of it. I was like, cut you out of it? It was $80. I got it for $11. Why'd you even buy it? Because it was $80. I got it for $11. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it was so cheap.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7.
Mike Salk here, and you've probably heard me mention that Crawl Pros has a full-service pest control division called Pest Pros, and they can prevent bug and rodent infestations from reoccurring at your house. You probably also know that it's especially important to keep a close eye on any signs of pest intrusion in your home during the spring. Why? Well, let's start with rodents. They're at the peak of their reproductive season, so if just one makes its way into your house, it could quickly turn into hundreds, and then you've got damage to insulation, wiring, even structural features, not to mention they're disgusting and carry disease. You may also see an increase in bugs, especially ants this time of year, as they're just looking for food. But if you got kids, you know they leave food everywhere, so this can become an even bigger issue. If you have any reason to think you've got a pest problem, you want to take care of it quickly before you have a much larger problem on your hands. So call Pest Pros. They'll come in, do a free corner-to-corner inspection, just like they did at my house, and fix the problem. If you're worried that any type of critter is making a home of your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com.
It's John Curley for Window Nation. You know, April is a great time to spruce up around the house, especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. You could pay nothing up until 2027, and they'll include a free entry door, too. Why do I trust Window Nation? Because they partner with Milgard in Tacoma to build top-quality windows to their higher standards, and they back them with a lifetime warranty. Hurry, sale ends soon, so don't wait to schedule your estimate at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
As we age, the home can become an unsafe place, but at Care Partners Senior Living, help is always nearby. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, so you can participate in activities whenever you like and socialize at your own pace. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the new Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced new Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the new Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your new skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the Nu Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. When you're dealing with business owners and the idea that they owe money to the IRS and they feel like they might be letting their staff down and it just spirals out of control.
One thing I see with businesses, it's really tough because they have employees and maybe they're having a difficult time with the cash flow of the business. Then unfortunately, what a business often does is they quit making their payroll tax deposits, which is really about the worst thing you could be doing. I mean, it's a telltale sign if you're doing that. Hey, get someone that can help you kind of look at your business and see if things can be changed so that you can operate your business better and make those payroll tax deposits. Because let me tell you this, the IRS is on those right away.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, you have to call Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Is your roof ready for more spring showers? If your roof springs a leak, Valentine Roofing has you covered with our Leak Stop Guarantee. We'll stop a leak in your old roof for free until the new one is safely installed by our best-in-class craftsmen. But don't wait for a roofing emergency. Schedule your free estimate now before you have the headache of dealing with a leak. With our spring priority scheduling, we can get your roof replacement started within just 3 weeks. For all your roofing needs, call Valentine Roofing at 206 Roofing today to schedule your free estimate.
Welcome back to the show. If you guys are not watching the YouTube live channel, the camera stays on during the breaks per our requests, and we just are having a ton of fun in here. Thank you guys all for watching us have fun. We appreciate it. All right, let's see here. We have, this story's pretty wild. Do you ever get afraid of being struck by lightning?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love lightning.
I love it too.
Love a storm.
Scared as hell.
Horrified.
Yeah, it's very scary. So, all right, this is in Australia. This teen girl, she lives through your worst fear, which is to be struck by lightning. And I want to play for you her reaction. I don't know if this would be your reaction, but this is a very Australian name. She's from Queensland, Australia. Her name is Bloom Kermode.
Yeah. Twins, by the way. One of two twins.
She is.
Yeah, Bloom and her brother Onion. It's Bloom and Onion. Come on.
I'd get it.
I wish you had.
That is not one of those jokes that needs to be explained.
Thank you. This poor girl was struck by lightning.
This poor girl whose brother is named Onion was struck by lightning.
Who's got it worse? Right.
And she's got the better deal. You're right.
It entered from my bone into my arm, and then it exited out my leg.
Yeah, your butt.
It literally came out of my butt. But I want superpowers, and if I don't get them, that's going to be sad, but I'm going to go get a lotto ticket and see what happens. So I was laying in my room, and it was about...
That's the wild part. In her house.
In her house. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Listen, I mean, at least you have the illusion that you're safe from lightning. Like, when I watch it from the inside, right. I'll like press my face up against the window.
I was playing lawn darts during a lightning storm. Can't imagine why I was hit.
It's flying my kite with a key on it.
Right.
Just like I always do.
This poor girl, 17-year-old girl, was in her home.
In her home. And she still got struck, and it exited out her bum.
Like
which is Australia, that means butt, Spike.
30 something, like it was pretty late, and I heard this big bang, and I didn't really think of anything of it, and I was about to go to bed, so I put my phone on charge, and I'm just watching TikTok on my bed, and then this big bang, and everything went white, and my whole body started shaking, everything was exploding, and then because I had my phone in my hands, the electric current went into me, and my whole arm went numb, and it just felt like I was almost having a seizure, and then
seizure?
My whole arm went numb, my leg went numb, part of my face went numb, and then everything was on fire, so I was like, I need to get out of here, and I grabbed my dog, and I was like, I'm out, and I left, and then I ran upstairs, I was like, I can't feel my arm, I can't feel, like, the house is on fire, help me. Yeah, so the roof caved in, and then my bed, like my blanket was on fire inside of.
How does she survive this?
That's incredible.
Isn't that amazing? She's laying in her room looking at TikTok, so bad parenting, but whatever. We can let that
17-year-old.
17.
You got to mitigate the damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of things 17-year-olds could be doing. Looking at their phones.
Ironically, the lightning was the lesser of the two dangers for her.
Very true.
Because now she's got addicted to TikTok.
My bed was on fire, and all the ports had come out and exploded, so everything was like flaming up and stuff.
She's feeling energized.
I am feeling. It was pretty shocking. I'm not gonna lie. It was so unexpected, and I feel great. I haven't slept though, but I feel better than I thought I would after getting struck by lightning. So that's a plus.
That's a plus. God. But yeah, she thinks she's gonna get. She hopes she gets superpowers. She's not likely to get superpowers.
They call them the ports. They call them that's electrical outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Were on fire.
Yeah.
Her bed was on fire.
Yeah, and she survived it.
A lightning strike.
Yeah, in her house.
Yeah,
that's the wild part because again, I always assume because you're in your house, it's grounded, you'll be safe. But I guess it went
through the electrical connections of her home. It went through the wiring, out of the sockets, out of the phone was on charger, and into the phone in her hand, and she was the conduit that this girl was struck by. I can't believe she's alive.
I have been telling you folks, and I've been saying it, and people are talking about it, and they're saying it. Keep phones away from your kids.
Right.
And this is the reason why. I'm always saying it. There's a lot of dangers. There's the TikTok. Any social media thing is dangerous for kids.
Dangerous, horrible.
And now the lightning. You got to watch out for the lightning.
That's how you do is you get a lightning sound effect and you just play it over your house.
Watch out, kids.
No phones. Lightning storm in the area.
This story should be heralded across the universe for parents who are worried about their kids being addicted to TikTok or any of the social media stuff. Be like, well, Bloomin' Onion got struck by lightning in Australia, and it went out her bum, and that could happen to you, kid.
And her dad. Yeah, your butt.
Yeah.
Oh, she feels. What do you think? She feels electric. She's energized.
She's energized.
Yeah, and you doubt that her brother's named Onion after hearing that dad.
No, he's definitely named Onion.
Definitely named
Onion.
Onion.
You're right. Definitely named Onion. Stay away from phones, kids. It's very dangerous. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, there's a lot of stuff to get to. There's a lot of tariff talk.
A lot of economic news.
Is it affecting? But we're going to make it fun. We're not going to make it boring like everybody else does. We're
point
going to do it in a
fingers.
fun way.
No.
We're going to have fun with it. And over the commercial break, Spike and Laura and I are going to see who can sink the most paper balls into this giant Batman mug. So if you guys want to pay attention on the YouTube page, welcome to do so.
Yeah, you're missing out if you don't.
You can place your bets. Actually, we're placing bets. We will be right back.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've seen the headlines. Budget crisis, government emergency, billions of dollars short. No, not the federal government. It's happening here in Washington state. State tax revenues are at record highs. Over the next 4 years, tax revenue is on pace to grow by $10 billion. But current spending will outpace that revenue growth by $12 billion. Want to learn more about the growth of state taxes and spending over the last decade? Visit budgetbreakdown.org.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Hi, John Curley here. It's a great time to upgrade with incredible savings on ultra-efficient heat pumps. Take advantage of local utility rebates up to $5,000 off on heat pumps. And Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Get both heating and cooling with an ultra-efficient heat pump in one unit. Plus, enjoy 18 months, same as cash financing. Call Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed's Sponsored Jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The economy shrank in the first quarter. That hasn't happened in 3 years, and the White House was quick to shift the blame, as Linda Kenyon reports.
The numbers show the gross domestic product was down 0.3%. Analysts point to President Trump's tariffs as a drag on the economy, but the president doesn't think so.
That's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is quarterly numbers.
Speaking in the cabinet room of the White House, the president said the numbers are actually better.
We had numbers that despite what we were handed, we turned them around, and we were getting them really turned around.
And if the next quarter's GDP is down?
You could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden, because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly basis.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The BBC's Tom Bateman reports the Trump administration's close to signing a deal with Ukraine on its rare earth minerals.
A draft of the agreement, seen by the BBC, creates a joint US-Ukraine government investment fund covering critical minerals in Ukraine and sets out the financial arrangements for revenues from it. Crucially, the draft says that future American military assistance to Ukraine would count as an investment cost from Washington, in effect partly fulfilling President Trump's demand for the US to get its money back for its weapons support for Ukraine in the form of future oil, gas and minerals with profit.
A judge today released a Palestinian student activist who led protests against the war in Gaza as a student at Columbia University. Mohsen Madawi was arrested by immigration officials during an interview about finalizing his U.S. citizenship. He's been a permanent legal resident for 10 years.
Me standing here with you, among you, sends a clear message. It sends a message that is loud and clear, not only to the Vermonters, but to the rest of America. And the message is, we the people will hold the Constitution accountable for the principles and values that we believe in.
In Israel, the main highway between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv has been shut down due to a wildfire. Prime Minister Netanyahu has warned the fire could reach Jerusalem itself. The decades-old dispute between India and Pakistan is threatening to erupt again, this time over a deadly attack in Kashmir. Correspondent Chanel Call.
Last night, Pakistan claimed that India is planning to attack in the next 24 to 36 hours. The Pakistani government saying it had, quote, credible intelligence.
India blames Pakistan for last week's attack on tourists, the deadliest in a quarter century. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The warmest day so far this year expected this week. That's one of the stories coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Seattle, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound at Lake City Way. Travel time Linwood to Seattle, 46 minutes. That's 25 longer than typical. In Fife, the crash on northbound I-5 near 54th Avenue has been moved to the shoulder. Travel time Tacoma to Federal Way, 11 minutes, almost back on target. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. A puppy rescue near Auburn. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao has details.
3 puppies, expected to be 4 to 5 month old coonhound mixes, were picked up in unincorporated Auburn on Monday and Tuesday. Their muzzles are puffed up like a balloon. Sergeant Rebecca Smokoska with Regional Animal Services believes their mouths may have been bound shut with tape or a strap.
Unfortunately, these puppies are having quite a bit of pus coming out of their mouths.
Besides the swelling, she says these puppies seem to be in good health.
Authorities want to find the dog's owner. We've put photos of the puppies at mynorthwest.com. Contact Regional Animal Services if you can help. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office is investigating its 12th homicide of the year. Deputies say they arrested a 16-year-old boy on suspicion of second-degree murder. The boy said he intervened in a fight between his mother and her boyfriend. The boyfriend was stabbed to death. A new report shows there was a 41% drop in the amount of gunfire in King County in the first quarter of the year compared to the same time last year.
King County prosecuting attorney Lisa Mannion says crime is down across the board, but youth gun violence is still a challenge.
Nearly 12% of shooting victims were age 17 or younger. The largest group of gun violence perpetrators are in the 18 to 24-year-old range.
53% of all shots fired happened in the city of Seattle. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle has a new sports team. The Pacific Women's Hockey League today announcing it's expanding to Seattle, where the team will play home games at Climate Pledge Arena. That's where 12,000 fans turned out last year to watch a women's hockey game. Amy Shear is a league executive.
I've talked about Seattle being the home of women's sports, and so we are looking forward to those 12,000 fans and all of Seattle coming out to see our games.
No official name for the team yet, whose primary colors will be emerald green. Tomorrow, Seattle could see its warmest day so far in 2025. KIRO News Radio meteorologist Ted Beener.
On April 24th, it was the warmest at 72 degrees. So here we are, heading into May, and our warmest day of the year going to be up into the mid-70s.
It's expected to be cooler and cloudier on Friday, so enjoy May Day while you can. As for today, this weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting beside Spike O'Neill. Tons of great stuff to get to. Tons and tons and tons and tons. Tons of fun. If you want to pay attention online, you want to watch along with us, see us live in person, our beautiful faces, you can do that on the Jake and Spike Show live YouTube page, which is a ton of fun. And we just found out that I think starting tomorrow or maybe the day after, when we play audio or we want to show you a fun video or whatever that we're watching and enjoying, which we do in the studio here together, and then we're playing you the audio because it's a radio medium. But if you're watching online, you can actually, we'll be able to watch, you can watch those with us. So
as we do play-by-play and give our honest reactions, you'll be able to see what we're talking about. It's fabulous ideas.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I just came up with it. Nobody's ever done it before.
Brilliant.
Also, it's unbelievable how hard it is to throw a paper wad into a cup, which we are attempting to do every commercial break. Failed again. So you can check that out on YouTube Live. A lot of people are betting. A lot of money has been lost on my horrible shooting. And Laura's as well. No, real money. I'm seeing it. People are showing me, and they're saying, this is how much money I've lost on you. Spike did make one, so God bless you. Good job.
Thank you. I'm retiring. Perfect.
No, you got to keep going.
Okay.
Because now I am determined to beat you. All right, we got a lot to get to. We got a lot to talk about. People are talking about tariffs. I feel like we should have a sexy tariff song to make it more interesting. Come up with one, Spike.
Sure.
Immediately. Go. Tariffs. Sexy
I'm bringing
song.
tariffs back.
That's pretty good. Yeah, straight up. That's pretty good.
Those other countries don't know how to act.
I don't know how to act, yeah.
Can we get a musical bed for this? Do we have a... Oh, Andrew's busy.
Quick, an instrumental of Sexy Back.
Gotta do it as drum.
Can you get an instrumental of Sexy Back? The Justin Timberlake song from JT. Some people know him as JT.
His friends. I'm not allowed to call him that.
Or Timberlake. He's not Timberland, is he? No, that's a different
guy.
Different
guy. I just know the boots.
I think he's very different than Timberland, actually. Justin Timberlake song, I want to say 2007. Is that right? Just as instrumental only? All right, so this is a song about tariffs. Let's bring it back to the... Spike, work your way into it. I don't want to put you on the spot. Is this putting you on the spot?
A little bit.
Let's not do that.
I don't even know. Yeah, we'll workshop this.
We're going to work on some lyrics. We're going to come back.
Because apparently these tariff stories aren't going away anytime soon.
They're not going away anytime soon.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Amazon was going to do something interesting, though. They were going to put a little notation next to their items that they sell. Amazon, it's like the largest marketplace in the world. They sell more than anybody. They have their own Amazon Prime Day where they sell billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of product.
They drive the global economy. Absolutely.
Drive the global economy. Everybody's talking about them. And so Amazon was going to put this little, according to the story in Punchbowl News, Amazon was going to be putting this little notice next to their products that are going to be seeing an increase in prices due to tariffs. And the Trump administration apparently took umbrage with that. It's a cool word. Look it up. They were going to they had a problem with that. And so they addressed it. Carolyn Levitt addressed it at the White House press
the briefing room. Yep.
Briefing room. She said this about it.
I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak.
You call him Jeff Bezos?
He did.
It's like,
I left that in on purpose because it was so weird.
Who are you letting in the press room? First off, welcome back from your coma. We're glad you're awake.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Bezos,
second richest man in the world.
I think we know who Jeff Bezos is, right?
Leave it to Bezos. Wasn't that a great TV show?
Jeff Bezos.
To the president.
He's literally reading the name like as he's saying it. He's never heard the name Jeff Bezos before. It's Jeff Bezos.
It's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you.
She corrected him.
Bezos.
Yeah,
Say with me.
Bezos, you dum-dum.
Tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon.
Trump claims, this is the scuttlebutt. Good word, look it up. Trump claims that he had a conversation with Jeff Bezos.
No, with Bezos.
Oh, Bezos.
That's where the confusion falls.
Called the wrong guy.
He called the wrong guy.
Listen here, Bezos. So he calls up Jeff.
Jeff. We'll just call him Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Calls up. I call him Jay. He called up JB.
JB.
I call him JB. Nice. I called up JB. No, Trump did, not me. Trump called up JB, and he said, listen, we got to scrap this plan. This is not good. People aren't going to like it.
I said, listen here, cue ball. I said to him.
This
He's
is
who's
what?
boss.
Oh, cue ball.
Yeah.
Because of his bald head.
Right. Okay, so
Let me play Trump's thing first.
Sure,
Yeah. And then we'll talk about it.
Great. Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly. And he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's one of the best in the world.
So
People
here,
love him.
see, people are saying he's fabulous.
People are saying.
Here's how this thing the timeline it all played out. Someone at Amazon, not Jeff Bezos, had proposed that on their Amazon haul, which little subpage at Amazon, it's where their super low priced items are, their Chinese imported prices are.
China.
It's China. It's made to directly compete with Temu. Temu's that the Chinese app import site where you can buy incredibly inexpensive Chinese-made products directly from China. And so they've put on an import charge on their website.
Yeah,
so
Temu has a big charge.
Temu went in there and showed you, because they're Chinese-based, they want America to realize, or to at least, they want America to think and to be informed that the reason the products have more than doubled in price on Temu is because of the import tariff charge President Trump has enacted since Liberation Day.
Sure, which is what, 125%?
145 for China. It may have gone down. That's the thing. It's so fluid. We don't really know. There was an example given on Temu where $35 for 2 shirts from Temu.
I have it right here.
Are now what, $70-some?
Well, here it is for 3 pairs of men's athletic shorts.
Okay,
but again, none of them will probably fit you, but whatever.
Yeah.
$23.61 with free shipping. Came to $56.36 after a $32.75 import
charge, right.
According to NBC, who reviewed the product listing.
So somebody at Amazon who does their, again, Amazon haul, had proposed that they put a tariff charge clearly labeled for customers to see where, for the transparency, where all the charges were coming from. That story was mentioned in the White House briefing room. The president's press secretary addressed it. President Trump then called JB.
Get Bezos on the phone.
And they had a good conversation. And Amazon says that was never approved. Was never intended for a site-wide Amazon.
Clearly, they got the message.
They got the message.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, for the record, with them putting a thing on their site. What I'm interested in, though, is if I were Amazon, and I'm not, obviously. But if I were Amazon, I wouldn't necessarily want to be highlighting how many of my products were coming from China. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there.
I do appreciate American-made products. This actually just happened to me the other day. Tariffs are tough. If they raise the price on things, that sucks. But it has made me, I'm interested in what your reaction to them has been. Has it made you more aware of the products that you are purchasing? Because I can tell you that I definitely have been. In the past, I wouldn't have really thought a ton about buying a Chinese product versus an American product.
Same.
It's always going to be cheaper to get it from China.
Yeah.
Because they're able to produce it at levels that we just cannot produce it at here in America at the moment. Yeah. Hopefully that will change and America can start producing stuff because we can, get our manufacturing back online in a way that we haven't in a long time.
It's a long haul prospect, but I'm with you there.
But it has made me more aware of the products that I'm choosing to bring into my life and into my house. Certainly my wife was already very aware of this. No toys in the house are going to be from Chinese companies if she can avoid it. Because
if she can avoid it and she can afford it.
If you can afford it. Or the clothes you're putting on.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of these videos where they go around and they do some of these products and they test for lead?
Yes.
Scared the heck out of me.
We've been aware of that in my house as well. My wife's very, very conscious about that.
You've got to be aware of these things, or the dishes that you're buying, or all of this stuff that you think, these food surface things that you're eating off of all the time. If they're coming from a country where you don't know what their manufacturing process is.
Right, what the regulatory practices are.
What the regulatory practices, to say nothing of if you morally have an objection to the way that they treat their workers.
Right, that's another issue completely.
These are all things that I'm paying more attention to. So the other day, this is not a perfect example, but it is an example. As a gift, my wife got me, you ever drink cocktail? You're not a drinker anymore.
No,
Laura, you drink.
What'd you get?
But you drink wine.
Laura,
Laura's
a
white wine person.
Here. Laura, up here.
I do drink. I drink wine and I drink cocktails.
Somebody asked if she drinks.
Yeah.
She drinks. No, not excessively. I'm not suggesting anything, but I do enjoy a cocktail from now and again. Sometimes in excess. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm in the safety of my own house. I'm not driving.
What'd your wife bring in?
So my wife got me a smoker for cocktails. Have you guys ever had these?
Oh, yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Elevates. I like an old fashioned a lot.
Okay.
I like to make a nice old fashioned. I like to put a good cherry in it.
Nice.
I like to really make it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have all my bitters and all the things, and I feel special holding that.
You should.
And I like it.
Care and attention went into that for you.
And I told her, I said, sweetie, I would love to get this smoker. This would be really cool. And so she orders me the smoker. And then I get it, and I see on the side of the box, this is made in China. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This smoker requires that I take a little butane torch and like do it straight down into this thing. So it ignites little hickory wood chips and sends the smoke down into my drink. Where is that product being made? I'm now literally lighting it on fire and shoving it into a drink that's directly going to go into my body.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't know if I completely trust this process. So I'm going to send it back, and I'm going to order an American-made one where I know that they're manufacturing in the country. That's the thing that I made for myself. It's 3 times the price.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
How much?
It was 3 times the price. But
do you mind if I ask what the original price was from China?
From China, the original. It was $15.
Okay, yeah, and you're looking at close to $50.
Now it's like close to $50.
Yeah, for the American product. Sure.
I am now. I'm paying a little bit more for it, but it's an American-made product that I feel like I'm happy to support. It's a local person who's building it themselves. I know where that manufacturing is happening.
Sure.
I'm not morally worried about what they're doing to their workers and some of the factories where they're producing these things.
Ironic of the Great Smoky Mountains where it's made. How ironic.
Tariffs are tough.
Tariffs are tough.
And it's a tough conversation. But there is a flip side of this where it's like, does it change the way our spending habits? And then down the road, does that make things more affordable? At least that's what I think. You might feel differently about it, but that is one of the things that I've been factoring in, thinking about this.
Well, it's a very complex question and a very complex issue and problem facing most Americans. You know, I wish I could afford to buy American across the board.
Smokers for your cocktails?
Smokers, or anything. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
You know, my wife has taken great pains in our lives to make sure that we don't buy, I don't want to say third world in a pejorative sense, but literally when you buy most clothing, it's made in Bangladesh or it's made in China. And you don't know the regulatory issues facing it, the labor issues facing these things.
The labor issues are frightening.
But families, mine included, and a lot of people have it far worse than we do from an economic standpoint. They can't afford to buy American. They can't afford to take the financial hit of being patriotic and buying American and eschewing. Is that right? Eschewing the
eschewing. Sure, whatever you want to say.
Avoiding Chinese-made goods.
Bezos doesn't matter.
Most people can't afford the luxury of buying domestic, and it's going to take a long time for production to be coming to America that meets the supply and demand requirements of the U.S. buying economy.
I don't know how long it takes to get our manufacturing online.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about building plants, firing. And are there enough workers to bring back this production America? No, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not. Unemployment's almost it was at an all-time low. There's not a lot of factory workers in this country left.
But I don't think unemployment. And again, this is probably a wonkier conversation.
Yeah, it's much wrong. It's much wonkier.
But
I agree.
I think we have the people who could do the jobs if the jobs are there and they're good paying jobs.
If they're
and
there
they want to
and
do the jobs. There's people who are available to do it. There's a lot of young people who are just starting out. That'd be a great manufacturing job for them. It gets them into an industry that's interesting, textiles or something. Yeah. That could be very interesting.
A lot of people don't. The idea of standing at an assembly line all day.
Well, you're thinking of like turn of the century stuff. I'm saying like the new way that they would manufacture some of these things.
3 guys watching robots?
I think could be very exciting.
Could be.
It could be. There could be some high-paying jobs.
There could be.
There could be actual
I'm
careers
optimistic
for
as well.
people.
Yeah,
I heard a really interesting conversation with Jim Farley, who's actually the cousin of Chris Farley. Did you know that?
No.
You knew that?
No. Who's Jim Farley?
He's the CEO of Ford Motor Company.
I did not.
He's Chris Farley's direct cousin. They grew up together.
You're kidding me. So Chris Farley really was black sheep. He really was the black sheep.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Jim Farley? Listen to this guy's voice because it's like you can definitely hear the Farley in his family because Chris Farley had a very specific speaking voice. All right, so this is the Ford CEO. I just want to. There's a lot of doom and gloom surrounding the tariff conversation.
Well, yeah, the immediate discomfort.
And I don't think the Trump administration, I'm not defending them at all. This is not my point here. I don't think they set out to say, hey, you know what we should do? Let's make everybody uncomfortable and make it more expensive for them. I think they actually thought, hey, you know what we do? We have an opportunity here to get something back online that America has lost.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, wouldn't that be great for the long-term financial benefit of Americans?
Yeah, it would.
And not China, but Americans. Let's get some of these products that people are clamoring for because they're buying it from China and it's crap. Let's get it made here from here so we can get that cost down. And then we can also be proud of what we're putting on our bodies and in our bodies.
Yeah, that's
giving people jobs.
It's an optimistic and a very, very good point of view.
So Ford CEO, again, Jim Farley, Chris's cousin, was talking to CNN. I believe this is this morning. And she was asking, they said, listen, all these tariffs, how are they affecting car dealerships? Is Ford going to be suffering from this? Are people even buying cars right now because they're worried about it? And his answer was kind of surprising. But he highlights the fact that they're an American-made company. 80% of the stuff that they do at Ford, 80% across the board, is manufactured here, which helps them massively. So listen to this.
We're in a world right now, consumer confidence expectations of the future are their lowest in 13 years. Where you're standing right now, is that fear showing up in the dealer lots?
Well, not for us in auto. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm at our most profitable auto company, and Ford is the most American auto company. We make 80+% of our vehicles here. And to your point, it's tough to tell right now. The reason is because we're seeing double-digit sales increases since March and April, but we ran this employee pricing. I don't know if that's unique to us. There may be a lot of customers going out and buying cars, before what they fear is the imports increasing prices. That may be a dynamic we're certainly seeing. Our inventories are shrinking at the dealership.
So he says currently, at least, they're not seeing a huge, they're actually seeing a lot of sales at the dealership. So people are still buying American-made cars. But this is the interesting part here. He says that being primarily an American company, actually in this situation, kind of gives them an advantage. And it helps them to make more investments in America, which is kind of cool.
General Motors, your colleague Mary Barra came out and said they could not release earnings yesterday. They could not release forecasts. They had to put the whole thing on hold for a few days because they just couldn't get clarity on what the numbers are. Are you telling us that you're just not seeing that at all? Do you feel that, you've got the clarity for your own numbers, the clarity for guidance, you're just in a completely different world than they are right now?
No, I would say, first, I don't want to preview our earnings, but I will say some basic things. We know exactly what the tariff bill would look like, in terms of cost for the company. We know the offsets. What we don't know is how competitors are going to respond. We're the most American company, so if there's any company that can manage through these tariffs, it's Ford. We make 80% here. And our competitors are different. Even the domestic competitors are some of the biggest importers into our industry. So, they will have a totally different tariff bill. You don't think of all the three domestic companies as the same. We're not. We're really different.
Richard. Isn't that funny that he's his cousin? Isn't that wild?
Especially when he's excited. He turns into a total Farley.
Yeah, totally. He's like all sweaty. No, but it's just, there's a lot of downside. There's a lot of
short-term uncertainty and some short-term financial pain or difficulties. Yeah, absolutely.
But
what do you think about?
It would be great if it worked.
It would be wonderful if it works. It'd be wonderful if we got better trade deals with foreign countries, which is also something the Trump administration is pursuing.
Or companies like Ford, who I didn't have time to play the clip, but she asked him. She goes, "All right, so put your money where your mouth is." She says, "I'm glad you asked." He goes, "We're investing billions. We're bringing manufacturing, all the extra manufacturing to America." He goes, "We're building 3 new plants in the motor belt right now, so people are actually going to get really good paying jobs."
Great.
So if it works, that's great. And if it doesn't, that sucks. We'll find out shortly.
But before we leave, what do you think about not tariff, but import card? Shouldn't that be on Amazon's website?
Oh, I don't care about that. Sure. Whatever.
I love the transparency of every company. If your prices go up, this is why your prices are going up.
It's not going to be good for Amazon, though, because you know what it's going to do? Again, it's going to highlight
You're buying foreign goods.
You're going to buy a foreign good that's not well made.
Yeah.
If I were that,
I think we already know that by the price we're paying.
Probably,
I think we already know that.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We have Trooper Rick Johnson next. He just pulled somebody over. They had a mannequin in the car. She looked pretty fake.
She looked pretty stiff.
How often does this happen? He's going to tell us. He'll be on with us next. You can watch him on the video too. If you go to the YouTube live page, you can see him. He's a great looking guy. You're gonna want to be there. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush. Act now before summer, because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
Before the summer heat wave, keep your house cool and save.
Dayandnight.net.
Save up to $4,600 on qualifying cooling equipment, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Don't sweat it out this summer. Stay cool with Day and Night.
Dayandnight.net.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. And we start today with our closing bell report as GDP shrinks for the first time in 3 years, fell 0.3% from January through March. Analysts say a decrease in federal spending and a rise in imports was behind this drop as companies look to get ahead of tariffs. More from CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
This is a little bit of a tricky one. We're going to have to see over the next few quarters how this shakes out because it was kind of offset by that import surge. That's the little bit of the weird part. I think the next quarter is going to be really telling. Do consumers pull back on spending?
This latest GDP report also found consumer spending was up. Analysts say Americans were racing to buy big-ticket items like cars, anticipating a rise in inflation. President Trump was quick to shift blame on shrinking GDP to the Biden administration.
We took over his mess in so many different ways.
More from CBS's Alinda Kenyon.
When asked whether his trade tariffs were dragging down both the GDP and the stock market,
I don't view the stock market as the end all. It's an indicator.
Trump also said yes, the tariffs may cause some unease.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30.
Adding, there really was no other choice.
We had to do it. We reset the table.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
At the close today, mixed results on Wall Street. The Dow gained 141, NASDAQ lost 15, S&P was up by 8. Starbucks is brewing up a new 3D printed store in Texas. CBS's Michael Toscano explains.
The Starbucks drive-thru opening Friday in Brownsville is the coffee giant's first 3D printed outlet in all of its 17,000 locations. 3D printing has been used in residential construction, but rarely in commercial buildings. It involves a computer-controlled robotic arm that builds walls by pouring one layer of concrete on top of another. Starbucks hasn't said if more of its stores will be using the technology or if they're just making this a single shot. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Let's go now to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by Washington 811. We have cleared a couple of crashes on I-5 southbound into Seattle, starting with the off-ramp to I-90. Crash was partially blocking the ramp. And we've also cleared a collision on southbound I-5 at Lake City Way, but traffic still remains backed up into Northgate. Linwood to Seattle, about a 40-minute drive. That is a 20-minute delay. Rest of the map, looking about average for this time of day. Bellevue to Renton, about a 25-minute drive. Renton to Puyallup, pretty open. Tacoma to Olympia, also pretty good. Just some minor slowdowns right around JBLM, and nothing major slowing you down into the north end into Everett on 405 or I-5. If you are digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damages to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are getting to some increasing sunshine this afternoon. Highs today will be in the mid-60s, setting up our hottest day of the year so far tomorrow, mid-70s and sunny on Thursday. Right now, 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for watching on the YouTube live page, also streaming us, and all the other fun ways you can connect with us. You can text us at 888-973-5476. This is a very hot topic. People are talking about it right now. This happened this morning on I-5. Somebody got caught doing something very wrong. And Washington State Patrol Trooper Rick Johnson joins us now to tell us what happened. Trooper Johnson, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Well, it was actually yesterday morning.
Yesterday.
Occurred. So, and then I pushed it out on social media sometime yesterday. So it was another HOV violation with a mannequin representing a human in the vehicle, as I'm sure that you've seen the picture by now.
You said another. How often is this taking place?
You know, they don't send me all of the ones that they get out there.
You're a lucky man.
It seems like there's at least once a month, maybe twice, that we get these. It could be more, but the ones that I'm made aware of, it seems to be about that frequency.
When you're pulling somebody over like this, what kind of a violation is this? Is this different? Is this just in the HOV lane? I mean, is there any extra violation for, like Spike was saying earlier, this is
I think it's a premeditated crime. It's not just a last-minute decision to jump in the lane. You put some effort into breaking the law.
Well, there is, a legislative infraction addition of $99 if the trooper chooses to add that to the HOV violation. So I don't know in this case if they did that. It seems like, when we get the skeletons, which are very evident, I think it's more of a attention getting than, really thinking they're not going to get caught. And then, I see people, well, I've been doing this for years and haven't been caught yet. So, we continue to address the HOV. We understand it's a violation of placement of your vehicle, not necessarily a hazard. However, it's an inciting violation. We get so many complaints, and there's a lot of anger that's derived from HOV violators.
When you pull somebody over who has a mannequin or a skeleton, as you just mentioned, which I agree with you, I do feel like that's kind of asking for it. That's like this side question on my first question. The mannequin guy, it seemed like he went to a pretty fair amount of effort to disguise the mannequin. They were dressed up. They had what looked like some sort of a, what is the thing around the neck?
It's a scarf.
A scarf.
There's a blouse, there's a scarf, there's a blanket over the legs. This guy took great painstaking care to make it look as human as possible.
Is that common?
Well, the mannequin was wearing a seatbelt. So, I mean, that's one of the things
Is it another ticket? Is another ticket if the mannequin's not?
Click it or ticket.
Of course not.
Okay, fair. You're a reasonable man.
Do you guys take the mannequins from the driver? They get to go home with them.
Right. They do. We had one, a couple months ago where it was a cosmetologist, somebody that did hair, right? And they had, I don't know what the specific term is, but they had what they practiced on in their car. And they said, well, I wasn't really trying to do it to violate the carpool lane. I was just needed to dry her hair. So that's the best place to dry her hair is to put her in the front seat and have the window down. So, and, most people are, they kind of think it's funny. I mean, the troopers are, we'll tell them, well, that was, almost a good job. But if you've been doing this a while and
seen it all,
you see this, you can pretty much tell pretty quickly that it's not, a human being.
All right. That's another question I had. How are you guys? I guess since you're doing it all the time, your eyes are laser focused and you're good at it. Are you noticing that the person has a lack of movement? Like, what would you be looking for if you were sitting on the side of the road watching cars drive by and you see a lifeless person in the passenger seat? It's a split-second drive-by. So how do you guys see that so easily?
Well, I think, our motorcycle troopers are standing beside their bike and even get even a better view. But if a lot of times individuals self-report if they see us and they're in the HOV lane. And by that, I mean, they dive out of the HOV lane back into the general purpose lane. And I don't know if it's happened here, but I've had it where they dive out of there and you see some thing in their front seat and you go, well, that's a mannequin. And they kind of told you it was by diving out of the lane when they saw you. Because if that was a real person, you're legally in that lane.
Yeah, you're not worried about it at that point. You're just driving down the road, going wherever you're going. That's hilarious. So you don't take them from them. They do. What is the ticket? What's the HOV ticket in this case?
In this case, it's, I believe, 187. And then a second one within a certain period of time, it goes up to in the 200s. And so it's a graduate offense. Now, the change that happened legislatively is it's reported to insurance now. Because in the past, it seemed, at least it was presented to the legislature, that some of this was just my cost of commute if I get caught, and it's not being reported by insurance. So
sure.
It's a big complaint, and obviously made it to Olympia trying to address, the habitual violators of the HOV lane.
Is this the craziest thing you've ever seen in a car? I mean, you mentioned the skeleton before. I guess that's crazier than a mannequin.
Well, I think, back when the day after the debate between President Trump and Hillary Clinton, somebody had a cutout of the President Trump in their front seat. Clearly not a real person. So that trooper, the guy that had it, they were just laughing like crazy. And he was allowed... He required Mr. Trump to be put in the back seat,
Nice.
As you should.
I think it was distracting to other drivers when they were driving by and they'd take a double take.
Hey, wait a minute, who is that?
That I think was, more of an attention-getting violation.
Sure. Yeah, especially given the politics of the time. Yeah.
Around Halloween, believe it or not, we've had a few skeletons. We've had seats that are dressed up with a sweatshirt and, like a ball cap. I mean, it's all kinds of different things. We've had full mannequins in the front seats. So it's all, a disguise to hope, the chances of us seeing it, we're out there, but we obviously can't see every car and be there all the time. So,
but it's illegal. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
Trevor, we used to have the hotline for reporting violators in the HOV, the HIRO number, 877 HIRO number, and that's gone away. Is there any chance or any talk about that coming back, or why?
I haven't heard of.
Good.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard about that, but we get reports of HOV violators every day, and so if a license plate is obtained, then that's entered into our system. So if a trooper down the road stops this vehicle, they, for that violation, say, hey, you were observed in this lane. Now, we don't know if they had a child in the back seat, so there's nothing that we're going to do about it. But we're going to say, okay, just so you know, registered owner of the car, your vehicle was called in and observed in the carpool lane. Nothing we can do about it, but it's just a little piece of knowledge that we can have. It doesn't make any decision making, based on that.
People are watching, so watch out.
Hey, the fear of getting caught is what keeps most criminals from being criminals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why is it, I'm often wondered, why is it they don't have to be two licensed drivers in the car to be a carpool? How's a small child? How's a small? I'm a little jealous of the people who use the HOVs. I got to tell you that. How is it that a kid in a car seat?
Why do you hate kids so much?
A kid in a car seat's not keeping another car off the road. Isn't that the purpose of the HOV lanes?
No, it's your. Go ahead, Trooper Johnson. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, if that's how you feel, then that's a legislative fix. But
I know who to call.
That's a good answer. That's a very good answer.
We're talking. We're the enforcement part of this.
Fair enough.
And it's a human being. We've had plenty of people let us know that their golden retriever, they identify that as part of the family, which my dog is too, but unless that's, put into a subsection in the law by the legislature, the dog still doesn't count.
If my dog passes the test and gets a driver's license, would that get it done? Would that be okay?
Then I think that would, yeah. I'll answer for you, Trooper Johnson. That's a legislative question, Spike.
Thank you.
Yes. Trooper Johnson, thank you so much for making the time. We really appreciate it, and for keeping us safe out there. You guys do a great job.
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys, your entire crew, all your hard work.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back here on the show.
The closing bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
It's time. The new phase of premium view lots at Natchez RV Resort is open. Don't miss your opportunity to get first pick. Tig, tell us about it.
Our new phase features incredible extra-large RV lots with amazing unobstructed views. And talk about privacy, nothing will be developed behind them. And these lots start at just $80,000.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Pickleball, playground, dog park, miles of recreational trails. Plus, you have fishing, hunting, skiing, and golf nearby. And don't forget wine tasting. Yakima Valley has been voted the #1 best wine region in the U.S.
Natchez RV Resort also features a 4,300 square foot clubhouse with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry. Plus, the brand new saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are open and ready for you.
Get your perfect pick of Natchez RV Resort's premium view lots, starting at just $80,000. Reserve your showing now. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm trying to figure out how we do this. I don't know how to figure this out, but on YouTube, we have this great chat line going on. People can watch the show live, and they can see our beautiful faces. You and I are also throwing tiny little paper balls into a cup. How do I make a competition where they can guess how many balls it's going to take before we get it in the cup, and then we send them like a free mug?
Ooh, good
like
question.
a free show mug or something. We'll figure that out. So if you're not on the YouTube page, get on there right now. I'm going to figure out how to do this. But right now, we got to tell you about, this is heartbreaking news. Like Richard George on the text line says, because this is the hardest news you guys have ever done. In Belgium, it's the 5th annual Seagull Calling Championship.
I thought you were going to say war broke out or
No.
something.
No, this is right in line for our show.
Okay.
Seagull Calling Championship, 5th annual, Belgium. So we're going to take you straight to Belgium. This is where people oftentimes dressed as seagulls themselves.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking. We got to find a way to share the video with people. This is incredible. Look at these people.
I know. Look at this guy.
Oh my gosh, they're all wearing some element,
like a feather. Like these people are full on
whether
feather.
it's a feather shirt. This woman's got her face painted and feathers in her hair.
Have you guys seen Schitt's Creek? Have you seen that show?
Sure. Yeah.
Maura on that show. Do you remember she gets? What was the movie she got with the birds? The funny, the crows have eyes or some stupid things. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
It was late in the series, and she was getting a movie, and it was like
Moira Rose,
it was like the second. It was the second. What was that one? What's it called?
It was The Crows Have Eyes.
The Crows Have Eyes. Okay, so she's dressed up as a bird in that.
The crowaning.
The crowaning. There you go. The Crows Have Eyes. The crowaning. She's dressed up as a bird, which was hilarious because it's obviously she's the best. And she's dressed up as a bird. And she's like sounding like a bird. That's what these people are dressed like. Only a seagull version, not a crow. Different color. It's also a bird. Anyway, here's a couple of these. You guys, I'm going to play these in their entirety. I'm going to play each one of these, and you tell me which one you think is going to win. Okay? All right. This is whether or not you think this sounds like a real bird. You just tell me that. This is
There's one real bird in there, maybe.
Oh, there is? Is there a real bird in here? Okay. All right.
Maybe.
I don't think so. All right. It sounds pretty good. I'd believe that if I was outside my house.
I would too. Yeah, I'd throw it a French fry.
I was just going to say I'd throw a rock at it. Just kidding. You don't throw rocks at birds. That's horrible. Preteen girl. She's wearing a feathered costume. We were just telling about this one. She's got a hat on. Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Holy smokes.
That's really good. Started
That's
stronger.
a human being?
Yeah.
You guys want to see something wild? Go online right now. Not right now, because we don't want you to leave the show, but at some point, open a separate window. Google search seagulls, dead skeletons. And just, you can see I don't know the exact search terms, so you get what I'm saying. The stuff that seagulls eat, they just eat trash.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Now, I'm not asking you to look at weird things.
Yeah, I'm going to Google test that for you guys first.
Yeah, thanks.
Laura, find out the search terms, because if seagulls eat the wildest stuff, a lot of it's shiny, like anything shiny. Garbage collectors, but then they end up dying. A lot of times they choke. I don't know if people know this. A lot of times they choke and they die. And then they die on the beach because they live near water. And then there's carcasses go away, and it's just the skeletons, but you can see inside.
What they've eaten.
Yeah, it's all just, their diets are horrible. Yeah. Horrible diet, those seagulls. All right, this is another seagull. This is somebody dressed in a seagull onesie. I don't like that one. This is a woman with a hand puppet.
It's like a puppy.
It doesn't sound like a seagull to me.
It was very, very puppy-esque. I'm rating them very low on the...
No, that guy's
Come
got
back for the
something else
coyote
going on.
competition, if you would please. That'd be fine.
Something else going on with that guy. All right, so here's the winner. Actually, this is you were actually writing.
And that's okay. I'll see if and I'll give them an honest 1 through 10 rating like I have the other 5.
Okay. This is Anna Breinald from Denmark. She won the adult category. She had a bald cap on. Her entire face was painted white with a yellow beak painted around her mouth. Again, dressed as the Crows Have Eyes, Moira. She is the Seagull competition winner, 5th annual. She's the best of the best.
Competitors from 13 countries, by the way.
13 countries.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is amazing. That's unbelievable.
Let's hear her.
Here she is. I think she got extra points for the costume.
I think so, too, because I think the second competitor was even better than she was at the Seagull
But the
Sound.
second competitor was the preteen, so she might have won like the children's
The children's
category.
division. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, that's a seagull.
I mean, that's a wrap. Are you
She
kidding?
was a seagull in another life.
Yeah, there
I
you
think.
go.
She was just, that's amazing.
You know, when I grew up in Ocean City, Maryland, I spent all my summers at the beach, and I know the sound of seagulls. I lived in an apartment right above the boardwalk for 2 summers.
Yeah.
And you talk about what feeding seagulls. In Ocean City, it is a crime to throw a seagull something that could hurt them. And because seagulls, like when people are, there's a French fry stand there, very famous. And people will buy a bucket of fries just to feed the seagulls.
Oh, yeah.
And you get literally flocks, dozens and dozens of seagulls. And people have been known to flick, a cigarette butt.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and it's
especially
a crime.
if they're trying to quit smoking. It's a horrible thing for those birds. Horrible thing.
They treasure the seagulls in Ocean City, Maryland.
And we
should.
Beautiful birds. I love them. And they also just
they all sound exactly like that.
Unbelievable. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage expert. Steve, mortgage rates have been dropping this year. How could that help seniors struggling to stay in their homes?
Lower mortgage rates mean seniors can now get more money from their equity with a reverse mortgage. You can pay off your existing mortgage, have extra money to help with today's high cost of living, or believe it or not, you can even buy a home with a reverse mortgage. There are many uses, and best of all, you have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Treat yourself to a teriyaki salmon meal at Ivar's Seafood Bar. A grilled wild Alaskan salmon fillet with a teriyaki glaze served with coconut pineapple rice and sesame ginger coleslaw for $15.99. And don't forget Ivar's Fish Sandwich, named the best fish sandwich in America by Eat This, Not That. Only $13.99. Available in all Ivar's Seafood Bars from Marysville to Tacoma and throughout Seattle, but not in Ivar's Fish Bars nor the Salmon House, Pier 54 or Mukilteo Landing. Find out more at ivers.com.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Supreme Court heard arguments today on whether to allow the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school in Oklahoma. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
The court was asking questions about to what extent states could support religious schools and whether that violates the First Amendment. And we know that the justices are split on the issue on faith-based schools.
It is a major case involving the separation separation of church and state. The U.S. economy shrunk in its first quarter. The first time in 3 years. The White House quickly blamed the Biden administration, but analysts say a lot of it was due to tariff worries. Business reporter Jason Brooks looks at the numbers.
Imports jumped in the first quarter as businesses raced to get orders in from overseas ahead of U.S. tariffs. And that, on top of a decline in government spending, led to the downturn, offsetting solid consumer spending and private investment.
The administration could soon sign a deal with Ukraine on its rare earth minerals. Linda Kenyon has that from the White House.
President Trump calls the deal a win-win for both the U.S. and Ukraine.
Our money is secure where we can start digging and doing what we have to do.
And with Americans on the ground in Ukraine digging for those key minerals,
the American presence will, I think, keep a lot of bad actors out of the country or certainly out of the area.
The president also suggested such an operation would also ensure continued U.S. support for Ukraine, both before and after any possible peace agreement with Russia. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
In Israel, they're battling a wildfire that has shut down the highway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem just ahead of the country's Independence Day. Linda Gradstein has that.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that heavy winds could push the fire toward the outskirts of Jerusalem and even into the city itself. All outdoor celebrations in Jerusalem were canceled, and Israeli Air Force Super Hercules planes dropped over 25 loads of fire retardant on the fires.
Alexander Ten reports there is some good news in the fight against diabetes.
New data from the CDC published through the third quarter of last year now shows that diabetes deaths have fallen to some of the lowest levels on record in recent years. That's after a surge in diabetes deaths that peaked around 2021. The CDC says COVID-19 may be to blame for that increase, given the virus is more likely to cause death in people with diabetes and interruptions to routine medical care that also happened during the COVID pandemic.
On Wall Street, after the influx of so many economic reports, the Dow finished the day 141 points higher. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Coming up, is bipartisanship alive in state politics? We'll hear from both sides of the aisle after we go to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. And we start on the I-5 northbound on-ramp from South Spokane Street. A disabled vehicle right now partially blocking the ramp, seeing some traffic backing up over the midspan of the West Seattle Bridge. Once you reach I-5 northbound, though, not too bad through downtown Seattle. Traffic also backed up on northbound, starting at about the north end of Boeing Field. Other than that, we're seeing the usual backups. Linwood to Seattle, a 45-minute drive, slowing down right around the U District. Up into Everett, plan on about 45 minutes from Seattle or Bellevue. Under 30 minutes from Bellevue to Renton, though it is pretty jam-packed at a downtown Bellevue. And then Renton to Puyallup, a 45-minute drive. Lake Bridge is running smoothly, and Tacoma to Olympia starting to jam up a bit through JBLM, but clear other than that. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Through April, Lake Washington Windows is paying your sales tax, plus giving you 18 months to pay for them. For details, visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. After a bitter budget fight in Olympia, Republicans and Democrats are reflecting on their latest legislative session. Leaders from both sides of the aisle spoke to Seattle's Morning News host, Amanda Factor.
Representative Chris Corey is the House Republican deputy leader.
In the 7 sessions I've been there, this was by far the most difficult.
House Democratic leader Joe Fitzgibbon agrees for a number of reasons, including the recent death of Senator Bill Ramos of Issaquah.
So a lot of personal loss, a lot of chaos at the federal level. You know, we had a brand new governor.
Both point out they work together on a number of bills, but the fights get the most attention.
We can do really good things that are not painful, that are bipartisan if you include us from the beginning.
Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
There is now a 5-figure reward for information about a fatal motorcycle hit and run that killed a 57-year-old woman and severely injured her husband. This happened a week ago Sunday at the intersection of MLK Junior Way South and South Alaska. Jim Fuda is with Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound.
The family wanted to raise the amount of the reward by $20,000, and with the Crime Stoppers $1,000, the reward is now $21,000.
We posted pictures of that suspect at mynorthwest.com. Newer technology helps nab a domestic violence suspect in Redmond. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch explains.
When officers approached a domestic violence suspect,
"You're under arrest right now."
He took off. That's when they deployed a drone. The Redmond Police Department was one of the first in the nation to receive FAA approval to fly drones without a visual observer. This means they can fly it ahead of first responders. The drone tracked the suspect to a wooded area where police dog Chewy took over.
"Don't run, the dog's gonna bite you."
And they caught their man. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle scores a new sports franchise. The Professional Women's Hockey League is adding Seattle as an expansion team. League executive Amy Shear says they'll be sharing Climate Pledge Arena with the Kraken and the Storm.
This will be the first time that two professional women's sports teams will share a building, and there's no better place to hit that milestone than right here in Seattle.
No official team name yet for the new Women's Hockey League here in team here in Seattle. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies today, more sunshine tomorrow with hottest day of the year so far to kick off May, mid-70s on Thursday. Right now 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show.
I can't do it.
That's a seagull. Yeah, what's your... I didn't even ask you to do a seagull sound. Okay, just to bring everybody up to speed.
I can't
just before the break, we played you audio from the 5th annual seagull competition in Belgium. Big deal. It's actually their second largest sporting event in all of Europe. Well, no, because the biggest one
World
is
Cup?
obviously
Sure, World Cup. Yeah.
Well,
right.
yeah, World Cup. Yearly though, it's the Champions League soccer. Soccer's huge in Europe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But second place always is this seagull contest that
The
happens.
caw off. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, it's a cough. Yeah, caw off. And people are really good and they're very talented and they know what they're doing. Could you beat that, Spike?
No. That was good.
Do you want to try?
No. No, it's terrible. I do more crow-like than seagull. Apparently, there's a lot of free time in seaside Belgian towns.
Yeah. What does that make us so? Like we're reporting on them doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a lot of free time. All right, a lot of stuff to get to. This is really interesting audio. This is like a semi-newsy thing, but it's also a little gossipy and it's a little bit city politics.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? People don't know, so we're going to play this audio.
And at stake are your tax dollars.
Yeah, it's going to be your money. Well, if you live in Seattle, which thankfully I don't. But some people do. A lot of people do listen to the show. A lot of other folks live north and south. And if you do live in Seattle, some of your tax dollars might be going to this problem right here. Mayor Bruce Arrow, he was doing a press conference. This was on Monday, and he was having this back and forth with the gaggle of press. And they started asking him about this demand letter that the city's now received from Jamie Tompkins, who used to work for the former police chief of SPD, Adrian Diaz. They all went away under circumstances that are now being litigated.
Right.
And there's a lawsuit. There's a $10 million lawsuit from Diaz. There's also this demand letter for $3 million, wrongful termination, all this other stuff going on. Was she besmirched? Was she made to? Were rumors spread internally about her?
Was it a sexually hostile work environment?
Sexually hostile work environment. That's right. So Bruce Harrell was asked about all this, and the back and forth we thought was pretty interesting. So we're going to play it for you, and we'll stop it and start it and chat about it.
What are your thoughts on these allegations, and how do you and the city plan to respond?
So, thank you for the question, Jonathan. So I can't comment on either litigation or threatened litigation. I'll have to defer to the city attorney's office. But as you've heard before, we take all allegations seriously, very seriously. And what I've always said from day one, we are a learning organization as a city. all of the departments under my administration are learning organizations. So we will
What does that mean, learning organization?
It means they're going to try to get better as they go.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah, like a teaching hospital kind
Sure,
of a deal.
take that into consideration should it come to us for making decisions, but I'll defer to the city attorney's office for any pending or threatened litigation.
Yeah, segueing back to Jamie Tompkins, the Washington Employment Department did.
I think is this Hannah Kim over at Fox News or Fox 13. She's the second reporter.
And that was Jonathan Cho who started that.
The first one. Yeah.
Their own investigation and found that her allegations of sexual harassment and that the city did not protect her had some merit. They gave her the benefits, and it's benefits that the city denied her when she quit the job. So were you aware of that information, that the State Employment Department did a separate investigation, found that what she was saying was valid? What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. So again, I'm not going to comment on that, on what you just disclosed to me, because no doubt sometimes mayors get deposed on what he or she may know in any lawsuit. So in all due respect, I'm just not going to comment on any allegations. I think it still falls under threatened litigation versus litigation. I'm not going to talk about anything I was aware of or not aware of. I mean, I have 14,000 employees, and so certainly I'm not aware of every allegations made or every administrative hearings.
I got to pause there for a second. Is that a fair response? I mean, because the allegations against him specifically in this demand letter are ones that I would think would rise to his desk. If he's saying, like, I'm not aware of everybody's allegations because I have 14,000 people who work under me.
Yeah, but this is him.
She's saying something very specific about him.
She
claims,
I find that one a little,
in that demand letter, if I read it correctly, she claims that Bruce Harrell had a conversation with Diaz about his alleged sexual relationship with Tompkins, and Harrell was, according to her, made a comment about whether or not he would do her.
Right.
That seems to me
alleged.
like that's all alleged, but it's in the letter. People can read it. I would be aware of that if somebody said that.
I would if that wasn't brought to my attention as the mayor, I'd wonder why that was the case. That's some bad staffing. If the mayor's been accused,
well, obviously he must be aware of it, which leads me further to question his response here. Because when I hear a response like that, where he goes, "How could I possibly know every employee?"
14,000 employees,
and I go like, "Well, wait a minute. This one's a pretty specific
Are they all
one."
accusing you of ignoring situations?
Exactly. Like, how many of your 14,000 employees claim that they were wrongfully terminated under such circumstances, which then led to them talking about suing the city for $3 million, another one trying to get $10 million from the city? These are not common employee situations.
Right.
So it makes me feel like, why is he deferring in such a way? Just say, I can't talk about this situation right now.
Pending, situation.
Yeah, but to pretend like you're unaware of what's going on, that doesn't make any sense to me.
So I'm just not going to comment.
This demand letter was on the table for months now. You were named specifically on that. So I'm assuming that you knew about what she is saying. And is there, when you say lessons learned and have to go back and learn from this, is there admission that this was handled improperly, her case?
So you should not make assumptions. I have both a city.
I don't know if you heard this, but you know what you do when you assume?
Yes.
You've heard that one?
I have.
All right,
I'm a big fan of the movie.
Attorney's office to handle all litigation, threatened, pending, and actual litigation. I have a general counsel that handles all litigation, threatened, pending, or actual litigation. And we are running a city and moving forward today. So it's a poor assumption to know I know every complaint made by every employee. That's just not a good assumption. So again, she said not every complaint. She said this specific complaint, which you are named in. If I
well, that was she was attempting a kind of a gotcha. You're saying it's a learning opportunity. Is that admitting the fault?
I don't know if that's a gotcha. I think
she was trying to get him to say, "Yeah, we made some mistakes."
Maybe.
That's good reporting. I'm not knocking her for it. That's good reporting.
I think everybody at that press conference is aware that he's trying not to answer a question that he obviously knows more information about.
And he's got an obligation to protect the city from liability.
Well, himself in this case.
Himself especially. But
if he's if he's being named,
he's got an obligation there too.
Yeah. So,
Fifth Amendment.
I wish they would just speak plainly. I wish politicians would just speak plainly.
Isn't that the truth? Oh.
If I was advising him, I'd say, hey, Mayor Bruce Harrell, why don't you just say, like, hey, this is an unfortunate situation. Obviously, there's some disagreements over the circumstances under which she left. I can't comment on it, so you can keep asking me, but I can't comment on this right now because there could be litigation, and we're trying to protect ourselves. Very easy thing to do. But then to say, like, well, I got a lot of employees. Like I said.
How am I supposed to know every time somebody accuses me of dodging the responsibility? I don't know.
If I knew every time somebody accused me of saying I would do them, like that's horrible.
That happened a lot.
Jeez Louise.
And on this date, we're moving forward.
I feel like we missed something there. I'm going to back it up
You
a
guys
little bit.
threatened pending or actual litigation, and we are running a city and moving forward today. So it's it's a poor assumption to know I know every complaint made by every employee. That's just not a good assumption. So again, on this date, we're moving forward. You guys with me, right? We are moving forward in this city. Taking our city back into a situation where we are protecting people.
Can I pause it here real fast?
Sure.
What's your reaction to that?
He got steamed. He lost his cool a little bit.
You think so?
Absolutely. He was at this moment.
On this date.
Yeah, he right here, right now.
Moving forward.
He turns and faces the crew behind him, the city employees behind him.
There's always a gaggle of people behind him.
Yeah.
Like
And they're
backing him
city
up.
employees. Yeah, and he's speaking to them. I'm here to work for you, protect you. Blah, blah.
Sound like Gandalf. Like, you shall not pass. We will not answer this question.
It was got a little testy there. Let's go to audio. Good video. Thank you, Jonathan.
That is good audio. It's good video. That's not how I would handle the situation. I also think he was expecting them to be like, yeah, we're moving forward. Like,
yeah.
There was just pin drop
Learning
silence.
is good. Yeah. Well, they kept after him as they should.
No, his people working for him.
Oh yeah, they were like, geez,
toss a attaboy.
Yeah, help a mayor
Hold
out.
for applause.
Yeah, no, like listen to this when he says it to him in the background. He turns around.
Taking our city back into a situation where we are protecting people. That's why we're here today. So the lawsuits will take care of themselves. We have a city attorney that will adequately and effectively deal with those situations, and I'm not going to answer any questions on matters that, quite frankly, are caught up in the legal process.
That silence part, that was like a Jeb Bush please clap situation. Yeah, it was. All right, let's move on to something else. We'll update you when we know more on that one. And it's an interesting case. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of tax dollars they're probably going to pay out if something was, if they did something wrong. Then they should, obviously. All right, I thought this was really interesting. This guy posted on Reddit. It's a good conversation about dating. There's a lot of people out there in our audience who are looking for love. Yeah. A lot of them.
Some of them work for the city.
Some of them work for the city. Absolutely. Yeah. And so, but people are trying to figure out, like, in this world of online dating, how do you set yourself apart? Because there's so many people out there. A lot of
fish in the sea.
A lot of fish in the sea. So many of them. So this guy, he posted on his, not Instagram, what is this, Reddit page. He says, simply pretending to have hobbies has dramatically increased my success on dating apps. And Laura, do you mind if I ask you about this story? Am I
sure.
putting you in an uncomfortable position?
Yes, but I don't. It's okay.
Good. Excellent. So have you been on any of these dating apps? Have you tried any of these?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. What do you want me to name them? Hinge,
No, you don't have to name them. But
Tinder.
like, what's your general impression of dating apps?
Your top 25.
0 for 5, yeah.
General impression of dating apps, good, bad? Yes, good, bad?
Exactly. It's called, yeah. I wish it feels like a necessary evil.
Okay.
That's excellent.
Yeah, because so many
That's
people
the evolution of relationship building and dating.
My brother met his beautiful wife on one of these things, and now they're married and they have 2 kids.
My daughter met her now husband on a dating app. Yeah, it's part of how the modern kids culture.
Think of all the time that we spend online. Of course, you're going to meet people online, but
modern kids culture.
Modern kids culture.
I'm trying to find a way to not sound old. But
you're right. So here's what this guy.
Becky, man, you had to look a woman in the eye.
It still helps. It still helps. It still helps. So this guy decided, he goes, I'm not getting any interest, like no bites from I'm dangling a hook out there. Nobody's biting on my hook. Trying to catch them, can't catch them. So he decided to list hobbies. He said people love hobbies because it makes you an interesting person. So here's what he said. He said, I went to a climbing gym last week because that's apparently something people my age do in their free time. It sucked and I'm never going back, but while I was there, I asked a random guy to film me going up the wall. I wanted at least to get something out of a negative experience that I could use for my Hinge profile. A few days later, I went to a nearby nature preserve and I walked 5 minutes down the trail. I propped my phone up on a stump and took a timed picture of myself. This guy sounds like a psychopath. Walking away as if somebody else had taken it candidly. After I got a picture, I was satisfied. I immediately got back into my car and I drove home. In the weeks since putting those pictures up on my Hinge profile, I've been getting way more, I don't know what it is, connection likes, 2 to 3 per day as opposed to 1 every few days. But the photo of myself on the trail and the video of me climbing have been the only things that women have liked and commented on. So it's like they're seeing an active person maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out what the benefit of it is. Laura, would this change your perception of somebody?
Yeah, you're involved, right? You're out in the world. You live a full life. Mm-hmm. You have hobbies, activities that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't hurt that they're active too. If it's something that I like, I'm like, oh, we could go climbing together. I mean, obviously where it falls short is he should just take pictures of stuff he actually likes to do because this is going to be a pretty short runway.
When they're like, hey, let's go climbing. About that.
Kind of hard to fake rock climbing. Like, you do kind of have to know what you're doing.
Right.
Unless I always have to call the nice people in Fall City.
And then on top of
rescue
that,
you, where that was
he's going to get stuck at the top and cry rappelling down, and that date's going to be over.
Oh, yeah, Index and Gold Bar. They have the Index Skyhawk come and get you.
And then he's got to also explain at some point when he has one of these connections which turns into love, which is the goal.
Yeah, I'm a liar.
That I'm actually just, I mean, wouldn't this end it very quickly?
Yes, yeah. Short runway, Laura.
Somebody finds out.
So there's 2 questions. Does having hobbies help you meet women? And does lying about having hobbies help you meet women?
Can I give you an honest answer?
Sure.
Lying will help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
It will help you meet them.
Lying will help you meet women. Yes.
Having hobbies will help you keep them.
I don't recommend it because you have to live down the lie and that becomes uncomfortable. So don't do that. That's bad advice, but it will help you in the short term. But in the long term, there's no shortcuts. So actually good advice would be just to go pick up a hobby.
Develop a hobby.
Do something.
Yes.
Like I throw paper into cups during the commercial breaks.
Man, I can't believe you're still single.
And I'm not. I have 4 kids and my wife loves me and we're obviously
you're getting
really
love each other
very
good
much
too,
because I throw paper into cups.
That's addictive.
Did you have a hobby that you? Because a lot of times the people will peacock to show off to folks. Did you have anything like that when you were getting together with your wife?
No, not with the lovely and truly unpleasant Mrs. O'Neill. I tell you though, the hobby of hockey, I asked Melissa if she would go to a hockey game because I had hockey tickets working at the radio station. I'd go see T-Birds games down at the center.
Yep.
And she loved hockey, so we had a hobby of being hockey fans. That got the first date going, and the rest is magic.
My wife was a soccer player, all growing up and then into high school, so I knew that she loved soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I knew nothing about soccer. I didn't play it. I didn't know anything about it. So I asked her if she wanted to go, but I pretended. A little white lie.
Okay.
I pretended like I loved soccer.
Yeah.
I do love it now. I've actually since grown to really appreciate the sport. So I said, hey, do you want to go kick the soccer ball around sometime? I thought it would be athletic. Also, I figured she'd feel comfortable in like a safe place, outdoor public setting.
Good call.
So I went and I bought a pair of cleats. I didn't want them to, but again, this is feeding into the lie part, which I don't recommend.
But you go to your trunk, pull out a brand new ball still in the box.
Exactly.
She's seeing through the grooves.
So I went, this is like kind of a family lore story now, but I went and bought a pair of cleats, but I knew that if she saw that they were like just brand spanking new, it'd be no good. Right. So I wore them every day for like a week and a half around my house. I would just walk around my house. Broke them in.
Yeah.
Took them outside. I got them muddy once.
Boy. Yeah.
And then we went and played soccer together, and now we're married. And we have all these kids.
Yeah, but you didn't fake it. You actually invested.
I did.
You invested in.
I invested in it.
Yeah.
And I confessed, and I told her, which she ended up actually finding to be appealing.
It's endearing. It's adorable.
She goes, "You're pathetic," and I find that I find that appealing for some reason. All right. If you guys have any of those stories, if you have any ways to shortcuts to the heart, please let us know. 888-973-5476. Also on the YouTube live page. You can check us out there. When we come back, we've got a great story for you. I heard this audio. I thought it was so sweet. This was the guy who plays Mater on the Pixar movies.
Larry the
Cable Guy was telling the story about getting that role, and it's so emotional, and he gets so emotional talking about it. But I thought that was so great. But then I was telling you, I sent the clip to you, and you're like, I know this guy. I know Larry.
I've met Larry on numerous occasions.
Many times. You hung out with him. You've done all this stuff with him. So you have some great stories about him. So we're going to tell you those next. A lot of good stuff coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
It's time. The new phase of premium view lots at Natchez RV Resort is open. Don't miss your opportunity to get first pick. Tig, tell us about it.
Our new phase features incredible extra-large RV lots with amazing unobstructed views. And talk about privacy, nothing will be developed behind them. And these lots start at just $80,000.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Pickleball, playground, dog park, miles of recreational trails. Plus, you have fishing, hunting, skiing, and golf nearby. And don't forget wine tasting. Yakima Valley has been voted the #1 best wine region in the U.S.
Natchez RV Resort also features a 4,300 square foot clubhouse with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry. Plus, the brand new saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are open and ready for you.
Get your perfect pick of Natchez RV Resort's premium view lots, starting at just $80,000. Reserve your showing now. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Spring in Washington. It is practically synonymous with rain. And of course, rain is made up of water, which unfortunately can wreak havoc on your home and your crawl space. So if rain or groundwater makes its way into that crawl space, it can create all kinds of problems, including structural damage or toxic mold. You don't want either of those at your house. Trust me. It's Mike Salk here, and that's why you call Crawl Pros. Crawl Pros will keep your crawl space dry. They can install a sump pump and drainage and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll take care of any mold that's been created and even address any plumbing issues you may have in your crawl space. Don't take the risk. The best way to learn if you have any water issues is to have Crawl Pros do what they did at my house. Visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Yes, Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried at all about water damage, mold, insulation issues, critters, anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com to schedule a free inspection.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces with medical professionals on site and ready to help. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. A hearing today in the nation's high courts may set the stage for the country's first publicly funded religious charter school. It would be in Oklahoma. Legal analyst Rory Levinson.
Now, up to now, there has been a firm separation between church and state when it comes to public schools. But this case could change things if there are enough justices that support it.
Justices have allowed vouchers for religious schools, but direct payments from the government, that would be a first. Pierce County leaders pass an immigration resolution. It blocks most county help for federal immigration enforcement. Pierce County Executive Ryan Mello tells KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula.
The council resolution affirms that what is already state and federal law, which is that immigration enforcement is solely the responsibility of the federal government.
Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank says it'll hurt law enforcement partnerships. The council ended up voting 4-3 in favor. FBI is investigating a series of threats made to Cascade Valley Hospital in Arlington. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports the hospital has gone into lockdown 3 times this past week.
Right now, the hospital has increased security on its campus in Arlington. 2 of those threats happened yesterday morning. Someone threatened to bomb the hospital after midnight and around 10:30 a.m. Arlington police cleared both scenes about an hour after each threat. Skagit Regional Health now says they believe this is part of a larger operation also threatening hospitals outside of Washington, all done by a single person or group.
A new parks levy in King County is coming to the ballot this August. The Seattle Times reports it would raise nearly $1.5 billion over 6 years. Money would fund more than 200 parks, nearly 400 miles of trails. It also sends money to the zoo and Seattle Aquarium. Warmest day of the year is on tap tomorrow when mid-70s arrive in western Washington. KIRO News Radio meteorologist Ted Wiener says it'll be short-lived.
Cool a little bit on Friday. Got a weather system coming in for some rain on Friday night and spilling over into Saturday morning.
The temperatures do start to warm up a bit by next week. More on your forecast in a moment. But first, we go to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, and this is brought to you by Lake Washington. Windows and doors. All lanes now open on northbound I-5. This is just near South Spokane Street. Still seeing some residual backups right around the north end of Boeing Field and also the West Seattle Bridge. After that, though, pretty smooth once you get past downtown Seattle. Heading southbound on I-5, looking at about a 40-minute drive from Linwood. Up north into Everett, about a 45 to 50-minute drive from Seattle or Bellevue. Some slowdowns on 405 through Totem Lake and Canyon Park. Looking at your Renton to Puyallup Drive, that is now approaching 1 hour, jamming up a bit between Auburn and Sumner. And 35 minutes now from Bellevue to Renton. That's about a 10-minute delay. Pretty thick there at a downtown Bellevue as you reach the I-90 interchange. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It is paying your sales tax plus giving you 18 months to pay for them through April. For details, visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny today. This is our transition day before the big warm-up tomorrow. We'll see mid-60s this afternoon and mostly sunny. Right now, 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Been excited to play this audio all day. It's really great. It's inspiring. It's going to make you feel good. It might make you tear up. I know it got me a couple of times. No, I didn't cry, but I did find it very, very sweet, and I can totally relate with this guy. His name is Larry the Cable Guy, literally a guy in his name, Larry the Cable Guy. Real name, do you know his real name, Spike? Because I do.
Dan Whitney.
Dan Whitney.
You bet,
I forgot.
yeah.
I'm friends with Larry the Cable Guy.
I've known Dan for 20 years.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of buddies, which is pretty cool.
He was on our show. He was a guest on our show.
Yeah, but when you meet somebody many times and you hang out with them, you
he'd
can
come and play live in town, and we'd go backstage and say hi and spend some time with him. You know how he started his career?
I'd love to hear it. Was it not installing cable?
No, he was a caller to radio shows.
Are you serious?
Yes, he was a guy that would call into radio shows.
Just like Adam Carolla.
Yes, and he got famous doing it. He would call into like the Bob and Tom show in Indiana, Ron down in Florida. I mean, shows all over the country. Then picked up on how funny this guy was.
Yeah.
And he would do like weekly segments with numerous radio shows, and he became a stand-up comedian.
Off.
Yeah.
Do you know Adam Carolla? Side note, do you know Adam Carolla's real name?
I don't.
It's Adam Carolla.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yep.
How did he come up with that?
He used his real name.
Brilliant.
So Larry the Cable Guy was on a podcast, and he was talking about getting the role of mater on Cars. So if you have kids, or if you have had kids in the past 25 years, is that how long it's been since Cars came out? 25 years?
Really?
Early 2000s? Is that right?
I'll look it
Laura,
up.
can you look that up? When did Cars come out? I want to guess 2003 is my guess.
Oh, 2006.
2006.
Okay.
Still 19
20
years.
19 years.
A lot of time. All right, so there's 4 of these movies now. There's a whole land at Disneyland. The original Autopia is now the Cars ride.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Very exciting. People love it. He was talking about getting the call from Pixar that they were interested in him for the role of Mater. Because, again, he was a touring comic, like you said.
He was part of the Blue Collar, right?
Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
He's making money. He's able to live his dream. He's not doing anything but being a comedian, and that's what he wanted to do. But then he gets this call from Pixar. And at that time, in 2006, as they are now, Pixar is massive. But in 2006, they're kind of at their apex. They've had the Toy Story success. They've had the Bugs Life success.
The Finding Nemo success.
The Finding Nemo.
You bet.
Now they're venturing into the land of Cars. And they call this guy because they want him to be a part of it. Listen to his story about getting the role.
I mean, I'm a comedian. I'm working in comedy clubs, and I'm doing well. You know, I remember getting the letter in 2002 from them. But I was doing good. I was on the Blue Collar Tour. But this is a huge deal. This is Pixar. I go, this is unbelievable. But when do I got to do airfare? And she goes, no, you got the part. I go, I got the, really? And I started crying. I was so excited.
Did you?
Oh, I'm starting to cry now thinking about it. It's the greatest thing ever happened to me. I love Pixar so much.
What about it made you so emotional?
It was just amazing. I mean, Pixar has been so good to me. I think about that moment. Sorry. It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, you know, this sucks.
Oh.
Well, it's just everything you worked for. You know, it makes me so happy. I get happy and I get emotional. I'm a very emotional guy.
Isn't that sweet?
It's beautiful.
That's so nice.
And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Could not happen to. I mean, I've never met a nicer guy.
What is he like behind the scenes? Because as you can hear there, he's a little different than the Larry the Cable Guy. He's a character.
He straps him. Get her done. He's made her. He straps on an affected character voice,
which you can hear there
a little bit. Yeah.
It's obviously. But he's a great performer. But what is he like? Like you said, you had some stories.
I have never met a more down to earth and grateful man than Larry the Cable Guy. And we met him when he was a touring comedian. He had already done Cars. So he was packing the Tacoma Dome.
Sure.
I mean, sellout crowds coast to coast.
I remember when that comedy tour became a thing, the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
This was after Blue Collar because he had risen above just one of the 4 characters of the Blue Collar Comedy Tours. Sure. Ron White and Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall.
Yeah.
But this blew my mind. He is maybe one of the smartest men I've ever met in my life.
Really?
He pulled out a laptop computer and showed me his spreadsheet. Because I said, "Is it? Do you ever get tired of doing the same jokes night after night after night and doing this character?" He's like, "Oh no, bruh." He brought out the spreadsheet. Well, last time I was here and he gave me the dates. I told this joke and that joke and that joke, and so I won't do those. And he shows me this. He's got every line of every show. charted out.
Categorized,
charted out, so he didn't repeat material when he came back to a market to play another show. He was here a year and a half ago, so he's not going to do those, or those. I mean, it's like, this is
so cool.
unbelievable.
It's so
how
cool.
much care and how much effort he put into making sure that the customers, his fans got the best show and no repeats and all new material here. And he was always working on me. He says, stuff I'm working on, here's stuff I did here, blah, blah, blah. I'm just the salt of the earth of a guy.
It's so cool because obviously you can tell that he cares. I mean, you can hear in that clip
absolutely.
how much he cares about the work that he's doing.
Yeah.
And, it's cool too because he's able to reach a full-on different audience. He's now able to be a funny guy to kids. I mean, like, think about that.
When you've entered that universe, that's eternal.
That's multi-generational. Now, those kids you're gonna be a voice in those kids' heads for the rest of your life.
Their kids' heads.
And then they become adults.
Right.
And then, like, my kids all know Mater, even though he came out like way before they were
20
born.
years ago.
20 years ago. And now, it's just like, what a gift that is. It's just for him to have that character. I mean, that's the thing you can retire on.
That's when you're eternal.
And
he's become eternal.
Pays pretty good money too.
The mouse pays well.
I love to hear that he's got the spreadsheet though. That's really interesting.
I was blown away. How much effort he didn't go. I'm funny guy. I better not tell jokes. He put so much effort into making sure, and that was all for the fans.
He's like, how many times did I say get her done?
Yeah, right. You talk about when Pixar called him. You ever heard the story of the $1 billion lunch?
No.
Okay, so this is, and it's been verified.
Okay.
As it was started as urban legend, right? Was that John Lasseter was the guy behind Pixar, and they were finishing up Toy Story, right? And they were, it hadn't even been released yet, but they were done making it, and they were post-production of Toy Story, and they got together for lunch just to brainstorm what's next for Pixar, because they knew how good Toy Story was. What do we do next?
What's in your head, John?
Yeah. What's next for this movie studio? And at that lunch, they came up with A Bug's Life, with Monsters Inc., with Finding Nemo.
No way.
And with WALL-E. It's been verified. It's been
at one lunch.
At one lunch.
That's unbelievable.
I'm looking up now. They call it the $2 billion lunch.
That's unbelievable.
Because we think about all the sequels and the offshoots of those. Of A Bug's Life, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, WALL-E. Those are all legendary animations from Pixar. It's when Pixar became as big, if not bigger, than Disney.
There's this really great documentary. I think it's called Pixar. I mean, just look it up. It's a day in the life of Pixar, and they take you into the building and all this stuff. But they follow John Lasseter around, and he's since made his exit from Pixar, and he's somewhere else now. But he tells this really cool story about the creative process of how he actually came up with Cars in the documentary. It's fascinating. I'll just give you like the really quick version. He had just finished Toy Story 2. They made Toy Story 1. They rushed Toy Story 2 to like chase that incredible success.
Yeah, which I think may be one of the greatest sequels of all time.
They have all these other movies that are in production. They're doing all this stuff, and they want to get something else out. And so he's like totally dry. He's just exhausted. He's squeezed everything out.
Yes.
And he's like, I need to take a break. I can't do this anymore. I got to take a break. So he rents an RV to drive across country with his wife and kids. That'll be a good old-fashioned family experience.
Sure.
Americana. We'll drive down Route 66.
Check out.
And he said as he was sitting there in this big RV and he's watching all these cars are racing past him on the highway through the Midwest, where Southwest, I guess.
Yeah, the Monument Valley. Yeah,
which is what Cars World is kind of after. He said he started developing this idea in his head. He's like, look at all these people in the rat race trying to get places fast. And what they don't realize is the important thing is the slow journey with the people that you love. And because he couldn't go fast, he's literally in an RV, like you can't do it.
Yeah.
And he said the idea right then was born for this idea of Cars. So he ends up leaving. That's like how the creative mind works. You like check out, but you're actually just like tapping into something else. And so he comes back with this idea for Cars. The whole story that he tells is way better than what I just gave you. But watch the Pixar documentary if you like documentaries and just like how they make their stuff. It's so cool. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We got your text messages next. We'll be right back.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Charlie Harder here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for everybody who is watching on our live YouTube page. You guys can watch that entire show is going to be uploaded to YouTube shortly after we get off the air, so you can watch it there in its full glory. You can send it to your friends. Please hit the subscribe button, mash down that like thumb or whatever people do and say. All right, we got a bunch of text messages and comments from the YouTube page to read. So Laura, fire away.
On fake mannequins and cars, Ken in Everett says, in the early 2000s, I worked at FedEx and had to commute from Everett down to Issaquah every morning. In an effort to get there quicker, I bought a blow-up doll of a guy and dressed it in a FedEx uniform and put it in the passenger seat. It worked for several months, but one day I did get pulled over by a state trooper, and he told me the reason he pulled me over is that my passenger always had sunglasses on in the morning. The trooper laughed very hard and let me off with a warning. I never did it again.
Oh. That's the correct ending to that story.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, couldn't agree more.
You applaud it, and then he corrects
this is your warning.
behavior. Yeah, that's great.
Tony in Buckley says, just put a hoodie on it and make it look like it's looking down at its phone.
Just like you said.
Yeah.
Teenager. 253 HOV rules are ridiculous. They're supposed to take cars off the road, but if that extra passenger was a toddler, it would have been fine. But that dummy and a toddler have the same possibility of driving their own vehicle. Interesting.
See?
Very interesting.
Gadget Thaddeus says, I put probably 30K miles on this rig every year. That level of gas tax means I've already paid the right to use that lane, period.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On our live streaming, which again, if you haven't tuned into the YouTube, Jake and Spike Show YouTube channel and watch live streaming, you're missing out. Terrence in the 509 says, nice Batman mug.
We spent the majority of our commercial breaks throwing
and
tiny
our
little
budget.
paper balls and all of our daily budget into that Batman mug cup. I think I won, right? Six for me, 5 for Laura, 4 for Spike.
As if you weren't carefully counting. Oh, I think I might have won.
First,
but who's counting?
Brandon says, it's a really good thing you all three chose a profession you did, because if your choice involved aiming and accuracy, you'd all three be unemployed. Thank you, Brandon. That's correct.
On the Aussie, a teen struck by lightning in her own home. Matthew in Tacoma says golfer Lee Trevino was hit by lightning. He said that since then, he put a 1-iron in his bag. Not even God can hit a 1-iron.
Oh, that's funny. Did he really say that?
Yes.
What a funny thing to say. That's great.
Mike from the YouTube live stream says a lot of ham radio operators use apps that warn when lightning is nearby, so they can disconnect their antennas from their radios. Yeah, just imagine those things are just.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, superhero origin story. She was struck by AC lightning. Now she's talking slightly out of phase and repeating herself.
Run. He's got a gun. That's my really bad Australian accent.
Oh, yeah,
like those twins, you know?
Yeah. That makes more sense now. That was your accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Moving on.
Ron.
We're gonna work on that one.
Got a gun.
Ron, got it going. Anyway, on tariffs, Brooke in the 425 says, most Americans, my household included, have homes full of useless junk from Walmart, Amazon, Temu. I'm taking a break from making China rich and paying for a nuclear rocket that is pointed back at my house. There you go. Buy American.
It is an interesting idea. We were talking about this the other day, this buy nothing movement that people are doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just right now that they're doing it, but I do think a lot of people are kind of looking at things and going, I'm buying a lot of frivolous things.
We have so much useless stuff at our house.
How many things are shipped to your house every single day from Amazon? You know what I mean? And then you sit back and go like, why do I need all this stuff? I don't. You can get away with not having it. But if tariffs raise the price of things, that's no good. We don't like that. Let's see. 425 says, my husband and I have been buying American-made when it makes sense for decades. However, I don't like the government getting involved in my opinions and decisions.
My options.
Options and decisions.
Yeah.
Yes, 425. I agree.
On the Seagull Call competition, Kate in Auburn says, you guys are freaking my cat and dog out with these bird noises.
Hee-Haw Aaron says they all sound like dog squeakers, especially that one guy.
Jeff says, many years ago, having lunch outdoors on the locks, I tossed a nacho to a goal. It was swallowed whole, and he had a triangle neck. Is that true?
Oh.
I think that's true. A triangle neck?
No, I can't believe that.
That feels like a cartoon. I think I've seen that in a cartoon.
How about on the ideas?
Oh, yeah, give us some names.
The ideas for the women's pro hockey team.
Tear through these, Spike.
Wicked Witches of the West.
Nice.
Let's see, women's hockey team name, the Seattle Freeze. The Orcas, not very flattering. The Tanya Hardings. Oh,
that's nice.
I love that, man. The Sea Stars, the Dungeonettes.
Like crab that. One. I like the crab one. Seattle Freeze was another one.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Mark in Shoreline says, in women's hockey, instead of fist fighting, will the ladies just side-eye each other until the game is over?
Catfights. Catfights, center ice.
Good job. I like those. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. And check out John Curley's coming up next. But for today, we got to go. Bye-bye.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7.
It's an exciting night at my house last night. Nick came home. She's all excited. This shirt she found was $80. So she's sitting there talking to me, and all of a sudden she goes, I can't breathe. Cut me out of it. I was like, cut you out of it? It was $80. I got it for $11. Why'd you even buy it? Because it was $80. I got it for $11. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it was so cheap.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Spring is officially here, and with it comes some unpredictable Pacific Northwest weather. This time of year, heavy rain can be a